Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and leave out the ones you don't.
We talk about what most news sources don't. Media, movies, and the multiverse.
We even invite guests to come talk topics with us.
Come join in on the fun.
Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Giant Conversation. This is Topic Talks. I'm your host, John Klingsmith, and today we've got an awesome show for you. And with me this week, again, is Lucas. Hi, Lucas.
Hey.
And Mark, who was late.
Hey, you know what? It is not my fault.
I think it is your fault.
No, really, it's not. But I'm not even going to go into it. But hello, everybody. How's it going?
He was arrested.
Not arrested.
He went to jail.
Public indecency is a terrible crime.
Oh my God.
It is not a victimless crime.
Okay.
Anyways, no, it was not my fault. I was late. And moving on, I don't really feel like talking about it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So, Lucas, how was your weekend or week or
My weekend
since the last
was pretty
show?
good. I had a nice Mother's Day.
That's good.
You know,
I
didn't do a whole lot of much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're not talking about you yet.
I know.
talking
Continue.
about your
How was your Mother's Day?
issues.
How was your... Mark's life is full of issues this weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get to that because mine.
No. Continue.
His issues are a whole lot more interesting than my nothingness.
No,
So,
wait,
Mark,
you
please
didn't
go.
do anything?
I did not do much.
I did a lot.
I had a game night with some friends, and that's about it.
You see, that's
sounds
nice.
like a
So
good
what game
night.
you guys play?
What? We played a little bit of N64, and then we played 5-card Mao.
Nice.
It is basically a more devilish and angry and evil version of Uno. It
Uno.
is complete as the complete and total definition
is-
of 5-card Mao.
That is great. You know,
So is it kind of like a Cards Against Humanity, but Uno form?
It's with playing cards,
Oh.
but you can't talk.
Ooh.
There are rules that the idea is that you learn the rules as you go along.
Uh-oh.
I was told the rules beforehand, so I was okay. But you can
So wait,
still.
so you're not allowed to talk, but you have to learn the rules as you go.
Yes, by observation. So
How do they enforce it? Do they just smack your hand whenever they do something wrong?
No, it's usually if you mess up.
You should get a bell.
You mess up, someone says, "Oh, you messed this up," and then they give you a card. And then sometimes there's things where if you still don't do the right thing, you can get more and more cards handed on top of you. So
I'd be the guy who...
You talk card for you. It's like soup Nazi.
We should play that, and then I'll get a voice recording of you going, "Nut."
No.
I'd probably be the guy who gets the whole deck.
You no do that right. You get called for messing up.
Wrong. And then every time somebody does something wrong, you just hit the button. Now you hear it, wrong.
The more difficult part of that game, though, is the fact that whenever someone wins the game,
Mhm.
right, they get to make up a rule, but
Uh-oh.
they don't get to tell you the rule.
Oh.
So that's another rule you have to add on top of the base rules
Oh.
that you have to figure out and remember. So they may make up a crazy rule that is never enforced in the game the next game. So you may not get it for a couple games, and then they go, failure to do this or doing this when you should have done this, and you're just like, where'd that come from?
That's how I felt on the way over here.
Do this and not this.
It's like, I don't know what I did wrong. Anyways,
She looked nice.
Okay. Mark, how was your...
well,
not today, because you don't want to talk about it, but...
yeah, well, Mother's Day was absolutely glorious, and by that I mean no sense of the word. I worked from 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock in an Italian restaurant, which is, I don't know...
the place to go on Mother's Day.
When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie. It's just Mark getting really angry.
It was a nightmare to say the least, but I lived through it. I'm here, so there's that. But
I'm glad you lived through it.
But hey, you know what though? This morning though, I got to give my mom her Mother's Day gift, and it was a picture from Easter of her and all of her kids, me and my sister and two brothers,
Right.
and then also our niece and nephew. So it was basically like a family picture. And so yeah, and I went and it was a super nice picture, so I went and got that printed and framed for my mom, and she loved it. She teared up when she saw it, and that was nice. And then
You're such a good son.
I try to be. And then I also...
I don't have an aw button. I wish I did.
Then I also got outside and enjoyed the sun for a little while today. I got burnt again. But you know what? That's how it goes for me. I get burnt and then I even out, and that's how my life goes.
You know how
Hashtag life is a cracker.
You know how in New England that when they say Mark, the name's like Mac.
Mac.
So does it make him is that,
Wait, are you talking about Jersey?
Yeah. It's New England. It's New England area, New Jersey. And,
Jersey.
I think
and
New Jersey is in New England.
New York.
I don't know. You guys know I'm horrible with geography, so.
True. But so I was just thinking, since he's red now, he's a mock lobster.
I'm a mock lobster. Anyways,
It wasn't a mock. It was a mock lobster.
But yeah, no, apart from that, though, it's just another weekend working restaurant stuff. I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy last week, and I wouldn't say it was better than the first one, but I'll also say it wasn't worse. It was about the same level of awesomeness, but it was still different in its own aspect.
That is the perfect movie because people try to shoot for better than the first, and they end up worse than the first.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Guardians of the Galaxy, they were pretty good with their sequel. I liked it. They had a lot of Groot, which was great. They there were some feels in there. The story was great. There was some stuff I did not expect, and there's some things I learned from this movie. It was great. So if you guys get the chance, I definitely recommend going to see it sometime this week. I'm actually gonna be going again tonight because my mom and stepdad and my brother, they haven't seen it and they wanted to go see it. So
well, look who's walking around with money bags. Mr. Moneybags over there.
I'm not paying. I'm tagging along.
Fair enough.
You still got to see the first one. I haven't even seen the first one.
You haven't seen the first Guardians of the Galaxy?
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen
it the first time around.
The first time around is what I meant.
I can't know because guess what just came in the mail?
Your paycheck?
No.
Taxes?
Yes, tax returns.
Oh,
finally?
I am waiting so patiently for that.
I've already got mine and spent it.
Lucky you.
Oh wait, is yours coming in the mail?
Yeah.
You didn't file electronically?
We did. Well, no, we didn't file it. We do like the math electronically. We do like what's
all the program stuff.
We do the program stuff and then we send it in.
I submitted mine electronically and it deposits right into my bank account.
You see, trust that stuff.
Nope, same here. I did the weird pay card that they send, like a debit card, for like the past 3 years, and it ended up being a nightmare of a different type every single time. So this year I just decided, just send it as a check in the mail. I could take it to the bank myself.
Mine put it right in my bank account like actual money.
Nope. Oh, wow. From now on, I'm just gonna get it as a check in the mail because that way it is easy. You can just put it in the bank yourself within like an hour of getting it.
And the checks are so pretty.
They are so pretty.
Well, you guys are shoving your money in your mattresses because you don't trust banks either.
I trust banks. I just don't trust the government.
I don't trust banks. I trust credit unions.
Anyway, I'm gonna get onto my my weekender since.
Yes, please.
Yes. How was your weekend?
It was very busy. We had inventory at the store.
Oh, that's always fun.
So, have you worked in a retail store?
I have, but it was a plant nursery.
Okay.
So I've never had to really count. I guess.
So the way Bass Pro does inventory is they pay a company to come in and actually count everything.
Really?
Well, kind of. So we had to do this thing called inventory prep, which means we had to make sure all the barcodes were facing out in the back. All the barcodes had to be facing out on all the products.
I thought you meant in the store.
Now in the store, you had to do peg integrity, which is going through every item on one peg and making sure it was the same UPC number or SKU, making sure it was pretty much the same thing.
I'm sorry, but like I had this really stupid image in my head. Like I was thinking pegs, like the things that stick on the wall that you hang stuff on.
Yeah.
And I was thinking by integrity, I thought you were meant like checking to see how strong it is. And I'm just picturing somebody going down and just hitting all the pegs. I was
thinking you were going to the thought of Aaron was like scaling them.
Right.
Like, this peg will hold 280 pounds. It will hold a shirt, and then he puts back down.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, anyway, so you go through all the pegs and make sure it's the same stuff because in a retail environment, well, he knows, and it may have happened in the nursery where people move crap around, like they pick something up.
Oh, every single day of my life.
Well, and then it's not even like they move. Sometimes they'll pick it up and put it back in the wrong spot.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, this is
pretty.
This forsythia bush looks pretty, but I hear it's really a pain in the butt to deal with once the flowers come and go, so I'm just going to leave this here. by the viburnum bushes, which is nowhere near in the same letter. V and F are not close in the alphabet. And they are not close on the nursery lot!
Wait, what?
No, anyway.
So you were very confused. That was a very simple story. It didn't go very far.
No, wait, V isn't next to F?
No.
Oh my god.
But V is next to D if you do the wrong thing.
Wait, don't you mean if you do the right thing?
Have you ever had a venereal disease?
Oh no.
There you go.
Oh,
Now
never mind. I was thinking something.
Took him a minute. Anyway, how was the rest of your weekend?
So what we had to do is we had to make sure everything was on the same peg, and then we had to flip the first one over. So the barcode was on the back, facing out. So they could go around, count how many was on the peg, and scan it that many times.
Yeah.
But the problem is, so hunting took me most of the day, okay, because the range was closed, so they took me out of the range and put me downstairs counting. And so I did one section, which was the waterfowl section, which is, ducks and decoy ducks. Anything to do with...
Which Home Depot do you work at?
I don't work at a Home Depot. I work at Bass Pro.
Sorry, Bass Pro. Which Bass Pro do you work at?
It's the only Bass Pro in Michigan.
The one in the Great Lakes?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Wait, the one in Great Lakes Crossing, that's the only Bass Pro in Michigan?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Wow, you know what? I hear so much more about Bass Pro Shop than I actually see of it. Like, I hear about it, like, all the time, and we only have one in Michigan.
That's because I work there.
That is true.
I miss when they had ducks in the river there.
They did.
And I guess got rid of them.
Wow.
What happened?
Some of them died.
Oh.
Well, they were old. It's not like they were young ducks.
It's just, you go into work one day, and you hear a logo going, "Ah! What's wrong, sweetie?" "The duck is dead!"
No, we've got somebody there that take care of the fish and all that, Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays. Like Saturday, Sunday, there's nobody there.
I imagine if the duck
so there's somebody always taking care of the fish and
the wildlife.
You see, my first thought was just a duck walking around going wah 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 wah.
They used to get out because their wings were clipped.
Yeah, they couldn't
so
fly,
they can't
but they
fly.
could walk.
But they would they could coast. So they would get out of their because they weren't trapped anywhere. No. They were just floating in the water.
Right.
So they would get out, and I guess they would poop all over the store. And so people would have to come in early in the morning, round up the ducks, put them back in the pond, and then clean up all the poop.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, that's great.
So, back to my story. So you had to flip the peg over. So I did that. Well, the fishing department is the biggest department in the store and the most pain in the butt because they have 1 million pegs.
Yeah.
Because they have fishing lures, lines, tackle,
Poles,
I mean,
everything.
Well, the poles are all up right on the top with hang tags, so we didn't have to do anything to those. But there's so many pegs in fishing. Literally, the manager's like, don't do peg integrity on the entire peg. Pull off the first thing, make sure it matches the peg, like the skew on the peg, and flip it over. Don't worry about any of the other ones. Because we would have to be there for like 2 months to get them all done.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, reasons I do not miss retail.
Anyway, so there was that. Then I had a session meeting finally to get some stuff approved at my church so I can get them a new sound system. So that was fun. I had a busy weekend, and I worked and tried to fix my tractor, and it still not working, so I blew off yesterday and watched Shameless. And
oh, dude, you're watching Shameless?
See, I did the thing where, like, you skim through a series, you skim episodes to try to catch up with it, to try to figure out what it's about, and if you want to get into it, and then I got caught into one of the storylines, like, in season 3.
You gotta start from the beginning, man. The whole show was just glorious.
I skimmed it. And I meant to go back. The point was to get interested in it.
Let me tell you the problem with skimming it. You're going to like watch like a whole bunch of stuff ahead, and then you're going to be like, oh no, I ran out of Shameless to watch. And then you're going to be like, well, I already pretty much know what happens because of all the details I've gathered from skimming.
No, and then I'm going to go back.
You should just go back and watch from the beginning. I'll tell you right now.
I can't now.
Why?
Because I'm already too invested in the storyline.
Well, what episode did you start on?
What, when I started skimming?
When you started skimming.
Season 1.
Season 1, episode 1?
Yes.
Okay, then go back and start watching season 1, episode 2.
But I'm on season 3, episode like halfway through.
Let me tell you, dude, you got just enough time. They're about to start shooting the newest season like this month. So you have just enough time to go watch all the other seasons from the beginning to the end. Even if you watch one episode a night, you're fine.
Anyway, we'll talk about TV shows later.
Oh,
Shameless is an excellent show. You should watch it. But
my girlfriend was like, "What are we watching?"
It's lots of drugs, sex, alcohol,
because
and all kinds of shenanigans.
We were sitting there watching, and she's like, "What are we? What is this?" She's like, "It's dumb." I'm like, "It's great.
This is amazing."
It's fantastic." No, anyway, so I'm glad. Lucas, at least your weekend was good, and yours sucked, and mine was decent.
Yeah, they even out. It all evens out.
We evened out. we negated.
Anyway, so we negated. Mark,
his boss was very nice to him today. He'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. My boss made my day today. That's true.
He kisses his boss's butt, and he finally got a.
No. My boss commended me on last Friday was like my first day totally on my own, like the only person at the station, and I did everything, and it went well. And my boss hit me up, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what, dude, you did everything flawlessly. Good job."
He didn't hit you up. It was in a. It sounded.
No. Listen, it was.
You made it sound like he sent a mass email out to the entire company, and then at the very bottom in fine print. Yeah. And thanks to Mark for running out everything all by himself.
He did in the weekly.
That's not hitting you up.
In the weekly schedule.
Hitting you up, be like, "Hey man, like you did a great job today."
He did that today too, though.
It's funny because.
Or did he text you?
What? He talked to me in person.
Okay, that's good then.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's good. But he still didn't hit you up. He talked to you. Hitting you up would be like texting you, "Hey, dude, great job." No, the bottom of an email
hitting him
in
up
fine print, he's like, "And Mark did a great job on Friday."
Oh my god.
No, hitting him up would have been Mark's laying in bed, gets a text message from his boss going, "Hey, you up?" Mark's like, "Yeah," and his boss like, "You did a good job today."
Oh.
And Mark's like, "Oh, thank you."
No, that's certainly not how it happened.
Okay, I'm glad.
But no, either way though, I got commended today, and it was nice, and made my day a little better.
Well, I'm glad.
Me too.
Now, you know who made whose day really freaking good?
This officer.
This officer did.
Yeah. Good segue.
Yeah, that's great.
So a Wisconsin police officer decided to go above and beyond the call of duty.
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 Gotta do it.
Anyway,
duty.
Go above and beyond to help out an 8-year-old boy. And what she did is she decided that she was going to donate a kidney to this kid. And her name is Lindsay Bradoff. That's what I'm going to go with. That's what it looks like. Lindsay Bradoff, and she is a Milton police officer in Wisconsin. And last December, she was scrolling through Facebook and saw a post pleading to try to find a donor for this little boy. The girl's name was Christy, who put up the post. Mm-hmm. And she, like I said, she put it out on Facebook about her son's condition, looking for a donor. Well, this officer decided to jump into action, and she went and got herself tested and passed all the initial health tests. So in finding that she was the same blood type and everything, apparently she matched in several other ways as well. She decided to go on with a kidney transplant. Mm-hmm. And the doctors were shocked when they saw a complete stranger was such a good match for this little boy. So last week, she surprised the little boy, his name's Jackson, and their family with the good news that she was kind of all set to go. She had everything all working great, and mm-hmm. All the tests were done and came back good. And she told the officer told the little boy, she said, "I took an oath to serve and protect our community, and now my kidneys are going to serve and protect you."
That's very sweet.
Can I get an aw?
Aw.
I don't have an aw button. I wish I did. That would.
I know that would have helped out like 3 or 4 times now on the show today.
It would.
I'm gonna work on that. So anyway, yeah,
we have a button for the Fat Man anthem, but we don't have a button for aw.
I'm working on it. No, anyway, so yeah,
this is an awesome story though.
It's a fantastic story.
It's a very, very sweet story.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, it is. It's insane to find someone who is not a blood relative that's that good of a match.
Yeah,
like that perfect of a match.
Right. And it said that she matched not only the blood type, which is usually just a baseline of what they look for.
Yeah.
But she matched in 3 other categories as well. So that's kind of
secret lost aunt that no one knows about. Probably.
Maybe.
Still, that's it's pretty good though. That's a good story.
Have you guys ever known anybody that needed a transplant?
I have not personally, but there is like a couple episodes of Shameless that are about that kind of stuff.
Oh my
That's why I'm sitting here going, I just watched something.
Yep, Shameless.
And it had a transplant.
Frank. It was Frank.
Well, don't tell me what happened, because I'm not past that yet. He's still dying.
Wait, are you before it or after it or somewhere around there because
dying.
You're skimming?
No, I'm not skimming that part. I watched that part.
Why don't you just not skim the series and watch it like?
I'm not skimming the series anymore.
Well, what part?
I skimmed from season 1 to probably partway through season 2.
Oh.
And then I started watching from season 2, and now I'm on to season 3.
So the 3 things that the other things that she matched with were antigens.
Okay.
And antigens for your blood are the things that are like make your blood like AB positive, AB negative, B positive, B negative, all that stuff. So she matched not just that her blood could be donated to him, right? Her blood would work with his.
Right.
Her tissue would work. Like O is the ultimate giver. Like
right.
O type blood is the ultimate giver, and AB is the ultimate receiver.
Right.
Because it can take from anybody. So she was able to match not just what probably is he probably has like B negative, and the only thing he can get from is like B and other B negative people.
So wait, so if somebody's like O positive, that their blood type can give to anything, does that mean that they could also like donate organs in the same way, or do you have to be compatible in more than one way?
You would have to be more. You'd have to have antigens compatible. I'm pretty sure.
So it's not just blood type.
Which is what the O typing, B typing. What they mean by antigens is antigens give the blood's typing, right?
Okay.
So it wasn't just that she was possible to give it, like he was B negative and she was O. She was like directly like the perfect blood and perfect like the perfect match.
Like lost aunt.
Yeah, that's what like I said, like a lost aunt. So that's insane to have that kind of thing happen.
Well, and it's funny because going back to Shameless, because it's the only like
I don't know anything.
You should watch it. It's actually really good.
It's a really good show.
Don't skim it though. Watch it from the very beginning.
Okay.
The father needs a liver transplant or a piece of a liver.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because he asks all of his kids, and none of his kids can do it, and one refused to even get tested.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think none of them were compatible.
No.
And then he had a lost daughter, and she wasn't
lost. He just never got involved in her life.
Okay, he never got anyway. She wasn't compatible.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, how do I have all these kids and none of them can give me a piece of a liver?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like their blood relation to him, and so that's kind of.
Let me tell you, man, just that situation just spawns so much into the series. It's great. I love it. I think I'm on season 5 somewhere right now, or season 6. Anyways, it's getting up there for me. Keep watching, man. Though it's great.
I plan on it.
Good.
It's now on my Netflix queue.
Nice.
Or my continued watching, along with Rosewood, which I'm mad about something.
My sister was watching that this afternoon.
Rosewood?
Yes.
Great show.
It is a pretty good show.
It is an awesome show.
I was very sad to see that he gave up the relationship with the one woman, though.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh.
I'm still back.
I'll shut up now.
I'm catching up.
Jeez.
Well, I've got some news.
And crackers,
I've got some news that might make you mad if you're a follower of Rosewood.
Oh, dear.
So that'll come later in Movie Madness Monday. Anyway, so yeah, I thought this was awesome. I mean, the fact that a random person would come in and just kind of, hey
here's
a kidney.
Here's my body.
We are now one.
We've become.
That kind of plays into Shameless as well.
Oh
my God.
No, well, listen, I'll just give you one little hint. well, or whatever, the guy who basically ends up giving his liver to Frank.
I didn't want to know that he got a liver. I hadn't gotten that far yet. He was dying.
Shut up, Mark.
Listen,
I thought they were going to kill him off.
No.
There's like 7 seasons of the show, and it's
And I thought they were going to kill him off.
You thought they were going to kill Frank off?
Yes, he's not really that main of a character. He just kind of shows up. They show that he's drunk and he does something stupid and he leaves.
Well, anyway.
Does that seem like a main character?
Yeah. He's literally the reason for the entire show. The show's about all of his kids.
Yes, they're about all of his kids,
so
not
he had
him.
sex. Good for him.
Okay.
Anyways,
stop. It plays into the show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, leave it at that because I'm still watching. You're spoiling it.
Sorry, I thought you were skimming.
I told you I skimmed from season 1 to partway through season 2, got caught up in the storyline, and I've been watching from season 2 on.
He has one bad day and he gets so sassy.
You still missed like half of season 1, man.
No, I didn't.
How much did you skim through?
I would get caught in part of the storyline of one episode and watch it, and then there would be crap that I didn't care about, so I'd skim through that.
Fair enough.
There's crap that's just random, so I'd go.
It's like Walking Dead. You'll figure it out for yourself.
I can't. No,
I haven't watched Walking Dead in months, but I want to start watching it again.
That's one of those fads that it was a fad. It's done. And
I started watching it on Netflix, and I watched the first season. Like, okay, it wasn't bad.
I didn't even
I got to the second season. Like, dear God, how did this get rebooted for a third season? And then I saw the first part of season 3. I'm like, wow, this is all right. And then I come to find out that is the exact same plot that the show follows. Decent at the beginning, at the second half. And then they just don't know where to go from there.
See,
I'll admit, the season started off hot, but they kind of...
I couldn't even get through one episode. I had a friend of mine that was watching it, and I'm like, this is tough.
It is a slow watch.
I hate slow movies
because
I can't stand
I can do slow movies. I can't do slow shows. You know why?
Why?
Because you put more time and effort into a slow show than you do a slow movie.
Yeah.
A slow movie will last for 2 hours.
This one lasts for months.
I feel bad, and then
like you get done with an episode and you're like, okay, there's 10 minutes or half an hour of my life wasted on a fourth of a storyline that I've got to wait, however an entire week to get the other fourth, to get another fourth, to get so in 4 weeks
and then you
I
find
finally
out it's only an eighth of the stuff, so you're like, crap.
And then you're like, okay,
too much math involved in this,
right?
But no, so she gave something very important to her, to this little guy, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But this next guy gave something that was almost as important.
There you go. Actually,
it wasn't nearly as important, but it was still nice.
Not really. It was a very nice gesture, at least.
Yes.
So an American airline flight attendant, is it Terry Truss?
Terry Truss.
Terry Truss. Actually, I should back up a little bit. I'm kind of jumping ahead. So there's this pro hockey player that gave up his seat on. I actually think it was a first class seat on a flight.
It was a first class seat.
Yeah, he was. There it is. Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks gave up his first class seat in a recent flight, allowing uniformed? Thank you. Servicemen to move up from coach and sit in his spot instead. Yep. So, an American Airlines flight attendant, Terry Truss, has described the interaction on Twitter with a picture of Kane and says he approached her before takeoff and offered to switch seats with a military member. And she was quoted saying, he said, there's a soldier on this flight. He said, I would like for him to sit up front, and I would like to give my first class seat, and I'll go on back. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some people
that's actually a somewhat common thing that happens when you have a uniformed service member.
Yeah.
A lot of first class people will give up their seats to them out of respect.
Well, and it's funny because some of them can sit in the jump seat too.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend who sometimes, I think almost every time he flies in, he just sits in the jump seat. Because it's a free flight at that point.
Yeah.
But no, this is a really cool story. And being in retail, you realize how sometimes how unfair people who are just veterans, like people who didn't retire or aren't active, are kind of mistreated. Like so at the range where I work, if you're active or veteran or active or retired, you get to shoot for free.
Oh,
nice.
If you're a veteran, you just get whatever discount
military discount or whatever.
Yeah, whatever military discount you're usually given.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, why is it just those two groups? Why not just
all of it?
Why not everybody? Yeah.
Right. And I was curious about that. And there was a guy that my old boss, the old lead that up there.
Yeah.
He was active, and he actually thought that was like, I don't know. It seemed like he talked down a little bit about veterans, because you do have some guys who will.
You get a lot of guys who are older that act like they've gone through worse.
Right.
And they've seen worse. And in some circumstances they have. Like there's the one story in Vietnam or Korea where the guy basically fights off an entire platoon with an entrenchment tool.
Right.
On top of a mountain.
Right.
By himself. Everyone else is dead. He gets free stuff for life, in my opinion. He should. The amount of stuff that he had to do to get the free stuff to begin with, it's worth it to give him free stuff for life. But you get guys that are like, yeah, man, we didn't want to be there, man. It's like, yeah, I know, it sucks.
Well, no, he was talking more about the people who would be in it for one stretch and then get out.
Just quit, just to get the free.
Well, no, like there's people like there's a friend of mine who was in it for one, maybe two contracts.
Yeah. And
he got hurt, and he's just been kind of getting screwed over.
Yep.
So he's done. Like, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to go back over, doesn't want to try.
Well, and it wasn't even he's reserve. He got hurt during his military weekend. But he kept having to transfer to different units because he kept getting screwed over. Like his medical didn't catch up with him.
Uh-huh.
And so he wasn't able to do certain exercises because of his arm. So then it's just like the military, when it comes to paperwork, is very slow.
Just look at the VA. You already know.
Right. No. Anyway, so he just kind of got screwed over with medical stuff. So he's like, you know what? When my contract's up, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And my other friend, who's actually active in military, he's like infantry. He's active infantry. Hasn't been deployed yet.
No.
I don't know. Just hasn't. He's stationed in Colorado.
I got a friend who's in the Army.
He'd probably be happier if he got deployed. He's bored.
Oh yeah. A lot of the guys in the military, they are just waiting. They want to go over there. Like my friend Earl, I think he went to Afghanistan or Iraq, one of those. And they were stationed in a base that was just off a free or highway out there, and there would be people who get into traffic debaggles and stuff like that,
right.
And there'd be gunfire on the freeway or highway there, and they'd just be waiting for somebody to shoot up towards the base.
Right.
But either way though, but it's he's got some pretty crazy stories about being over there, and I think he wants to go back. I'm not sure. He says that it's pretty much you're just on your toes waiting for something to happen, and a lot of time nothing does.
Yeah, I was gonna say my friend has been sitting in Colorado for several years now. Actually, one whole contract, which is about 4 years.
If you're stationed stateside, odds are there's there's not really any warfare on American soil, so probably not much.
No, a lot of people are stationed here.
Yeah,
but they'll get deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, or whatever country. Like
barracks.
I had a friend of mine who was transferred. He's in the Air Force, and he is in Dover, Denver, and he got deployed to another country for a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of all these other people getting deployed. So I'm wondering why my friend who is infantry, so literally the first boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Usually if we declare war on somebody, why he's not over, because there is still, I'm pretty sure there's still stuff going on in Afghanistan.
Oh, for sure.
There's always stuff going on in Afghanistan.
And we're still there, so I'm wondering, and last I heard, everybody got one tour.
Yeah.
And it was usually pretty, calm.
Pretty standard stuff.
Not too bad, but everybody at least got one term.
That sounds about right.
But I could be wrong. Anyway. No, well, you guys know how I feel about going back to this hockey player. How I feel about celebrities or athletes that show respect for people and
celebrities who it's like they have all this fame and money that's given to them, and they decide to do something with it and give back to the community. And I love hearing about that. It's like it goes back to I think it was Akon who like spent like millions of dollars and got like solar panels for like Africa.
They don't have houses to use those solar panels.
Right.
Oh my god. Well, no, but they can still use it for other stuff like powering their villages and all that stuff. Like there's
they don't have
pay millions of dollars.
They do have some need for power over there. They're not totally like living in a cave.
I didn't think they were living in a cave, just a hole in the ground
or a hut.
And a hut, clay hut. It doesn't have electricity
or outlets to have electricity.
We love you, Mark.
Well, I
guess by that standard, you're not going to need to pay for a lot of solar panels to power.
Well, let me correct you on there. They have electricity now that they've got the solar panel. They have no outlet, no way to distribute it.
Oh my god. Yeah, we got all these batteries. We just keep charging them.
We could run like a lot of stuff, but we don't have anything to use it for. We're just kind of sitting here twiddling our thumbs. We would love to have someone that twiddles our thumbs for us, but
we won the free gas, competition or whatever, and so we have free gas for life, but
we have no use for it.
We don't have cars.
We run everywhere, and we do it better than most cars.
Man.
It's like unless you run into like a cheetah, you're probably going to be okay.
That's why the Kenyans are the fastest in the world at long distance.
Oh my god. That reminds me of a video I saw one time. It's like you saw this guy, right? Well, first of all, you see a hallway, and it takes a 90-degree turn into another hallway. And I don't know where you just see this guy. He's like coming full speed in and like deflects himself off the wall and just takes off sprinting again. And less than a second later, you see a cheetah just plow right into that wall and protect itself. It was great. I'll see if I can find it real quick. But anyways,
you know what else is great?
What?
Welcome to
the Multiverse. Okay, well, never mind. I guess I'll find it later. Anyways, so yeah, this week on Multiverse, how'd the show go last week, by the way? Because I know
pretty well.
Pretty decently.
Luke, did you make it?
Yeah, I was here.
He was here.
It was rough on me. I didn't sleep well the night before, so. Aaron's watching me going.
I'm watching him like fall asleep, and he's like, he like tries to stand up, but the stand isn't tall enough for him to stand up.
So he had to give me a standing mic in order for me.
So like during the show, we're like trying to juggle all this while remain talking.
That reminds me.
And hook everything up, and it ended up working out.
That reminds me of a time when I used to be working a full-time hospital job, right?
Yeah.
And it was like I was going to like full-time schooling and everything. I was literally doing like everything I could possibly be doing to better myself. And I was so busy. I was running off like 4 hours of sleep a night for like a month. And I'm just sitting there at work one day. I'm trying to sort silverware, but I'm totally exhausted. And I literally was just like falling asleep, standing up while I'm just sorting silverware.
Oh, jeez.
It was funny.
No, that was him last week. Oh. But to stand up, he wasn't falling asleep. Once he stood up, he was.
Oh, I was so exhausted. I was falling asleep standing up.
Just a horse just standing.
No, once he stood up, he kind of got the flow of everything. If you would have told me you were that tired, I would have given you a cup of coffee.
It's okay. I don't drink coffee.
Why not?
Because coffee is disgusting.
Not the kind of coffee I drink. You can't taste the coffee. It just tastes caramel.
Oh, that's nice. I might have to do that sometime.
Right. Oh, you like a little bit of coffee with your caramel, right?
Right.
Oh, fair enough.
Anyway, what's going on at NASA?
Oh, well, NASA, have you guys heard of the Cassini spacecraft?
No.
Okay, well, basically it's a spacecraft that we had out by Saturn, right?
Okay.
And it's back in contact with Earth now.
Why is it called Cassini?
Right.
It should be the Saturn spacecraft.
Oh, my God.
Or the SS.
Anyways, beaming back data and telemetry one day after the first of 22 planned high-speed plunges through a gap between... Anyway, oh my God. Anyways, it's beaming back its data and telemetry one day after the first of 22 planned high-speed plunges through the gap between Saturn's cloud tops and its vast ring system.
Oh my.
Virtually out of out of gas after 13 years orbiting the gas giant. That's fine.
Hey, hold up. If it just needs some gas, I'd talk to Lucas about that.
Well, I mean, Lucas, you want to go out to Saturn?
I am a gas giant.
So, anyways, basically after 13 years out there, Cassini is finishing up its enormously successful $3.9 billion mission by repeatedly shooting the gap between the planet and its rings, collecting a final set of unprecedented close-range data before crashing into Saturn's atmosphere in September. I don't know what's with these
seems like a failed mission.
Right.
No, because it's getting all this data.
It did a great job. It crashed. Which is exactly what we wanted to do.
Well, and isn't Saturn literally just a giant ball of gas? So how would it crash onto that? Wouldn't it just go right through?
There's some logic to this. Basically, by basically directing this craft to crash into the planet, it's going to the core of the planet. It's still going to be collecting data. And they're going to be sending that data back to us, so we'll have knowledge of what's going on inside the planet.
Here's the thing with Saturn and Jupiter, even though they are gas giants, there is a core there.
Okay.
That orbits around. It's not just gas particles going.
I thought it was just like a giant ball of gas.
I believe so. I think that's the case at least.
Imagine, it's.
I was gonna say
I've never actually looked into that, but I imagine it's something like if the Earth was actually only the size of its core, and then it was surrounded by a giant storm or hurricane that's essentially the size of Earth.
But with Saturn and Jupiter, even though they are gas giants, there's enough gas there that the pressure created just by the gravitational pull is huge. I think I would weigh. I think it's I weigh 900 pounds on Jupiter.
Yeah.
I'm not light on Earth, but I'm much heavier on Jupiter.
I've never converted my weight to another planet.
Are we talking about Saturn or Jupiter?
But that's what I'm saying, because they're both gas giants.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise. It's like when they talk about deep space or deep sea diving, how you can only go so deep before the pressure crushes you. Same kind of thing, but in space.
Okay.
Where you can't breathe either. But it's water.
That thing's worth $3.3 billion.
$3.9 billion.
I'm looking at the links and it says NASA will intentionally crash a 3.3 billion probe into Saturn.
Oh my.
3.9, but yeah.
So what was the stuff that they were trying to collect?
Basically, the spacecraft shot the gap for the first time earlier this month, passing within just 1,900 miles of Saturn's cloud tops, and a mere 200 miles from the visible edge of the innermost rings. At a velocity of some 77,000 miles per hour, fast enough to fly across 375 football fields end to end in 1 second. Scientists were confident Cassini would not encounter any large ring particles, but they could not be certain, and given the spacecraft's enormous velocity, the probe was oriented with its large dish antenna facing outward to act as a shield. As a result, Cassini was out of contact until it could complete its science observations and aim itself back towards Earth to resume beaming data back to our scientists. After crossing the 872 million mile gulf between Saturn and Earth, the initial post-crossing signal reached NASA's Deep Space Network antennas at Goldstone, California, and data began streaming. Now, the thing is, no spacecraft has ever been this close to Saturn before, and NASA could only rely on predictions based on our experience with Saturn's other rings of what we thought this gap between the rings and Saturn's would be like. Cassini was essentially launched in October of 97, and it arrived in around Saturn in July of 2004, and it was dropped off by a lander built by the European Space Agency that successfully completed a parachute descent to the surface of Titan the following January.
Which is a moon.
Yes, it is one of Saturn's moons. Since then, Cassini has flown through the complex set of ever-changing orbits, repeatedly using the gravity of Saturn's large moon Titan to alter its course, enabling multiple flybys of Saturn, its huge ring system, and many of its moons, earning 2 mission extensions in the process. The spacecraft is operated in near flawless fashion, chalking up one of NASA's most scientifically productive planetary missions, but Cassini has used up just about all of its propellant, and once it runs out, the spacecraft will no longer be controllable. To ensure that the probe does not someday crash into a moon like Enceladus, where the subsurface ocean may provide an Adobe for life, NASA managers decided to put Cassini
on... Adobe is a software. Abode is a home.
I'm sorry.
I was making sure you get that right.
I just misread it. I always get my B's and D's messed up. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, NASA managers decided to put Cassini on a trajectory that would culminate in a mission-ending plunge into the Saturn's atmosphere on September 15th. The grand finale trajectory, set up with the final close-range flyby of Titan on April 22nd, will enable scientists to get a closer view of the planet's turbulent atmosphere than ever before, enabling unprecedented observations of its gravitational and magnetic fields, and help researchers calculate the mass of the ring system to determine its age.
Nice.
Yes, and basically it's gonna make the second of 22 planned ring plane crossings. It made the second one earlier this month, on May 2nd. So really, this is an ongoing mission for the time being. They're collecting more data on the rings. They're collecting data on the moons. They're collecting data on the planet. And once it runs out of fuel, they're gonna put it on a trajectory to where it's not gonna crash into any possible life-sustaining planets or moons. And they're still gonna collect data from it when it crashes into a planet or whatever.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing I did notice about a lot of these, data collection missions is, they just pretty much let their probe run out of fuel and essentially just let it take its suicidal plunge into the planet.
Sounds like a good idea.
I guess it's safer than littering.
Yeah.
I guess it.
If you actually look
wouldn't it be technically littering it because they're just crashing it into something?
True.
Yeah,
So they're littering that planet the core of that planet with.
If you look at Earth's orbit, not our orbit, but the things we have orbiting around us, there is a huge amount of space debris from decommissioned satellites.
Oh yeah.
Just going around the Earth.
Have you ever seen the movie WALL-E?
Yes.
There's a good joke about that in the movie. It's like, literally when they left the planet or whatever, there's just like a literal barrier of just dead satellites floating.
Jeez.
Why not clean it up? Why not send a probe up there to...
Because what are you going to do? They're hurtling around at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour.
Get a probe that sits just right so that it'll grab onto it and...
No, that's what I mean. The debris is going around at 100. Put it this way, the ISSA, not ISSA, the International Space Station, the ISS, is traveling so fast that it could get from Texas to Maine in less than a second. All right.
Dang, really?
It's like, look it up. Look how quickly it orbits around the Earth. That's roughly the same speed. They're not roughly the same speed, but stuff like that smaller than that can be going just as fast, maybe faster. So having
4.76 miles a second.
Yeah.
That's still pretty fast. That's like let's see. I don't know. No.
So
don't ask me to do the math. I'm not in the math mood right now.
Times 4.76 by 60.
Oh my god! Hang on, give me a second. Let me pull out my calculator.
Okay.
Okay, so wait. So 4.76 times 60 is 285.6.
Okay, so it goes 200.
You're welcome.
It goes 285.6 miles a minute.
That's a lot of miles.
So times that by another 60.
Multiply by 60 again.
Yep.
All right, 17,136.
That's how fast it's going per hour. How many miles it's going per hour?
17,136 miles per hour.
So.
Oh, that's faster than I can run.
That's it makes it a little bit.
Did that just catch up?
Yeah, I was just sitting there going like, what joke did he make? Oh my gosh. So
it's faster than his joke perceiving abilities.
Exactly.
Apparently.
So put it this way, the Earth is roughly 24,000 miles in circumference.
Yeah.
So this thing could cover half the Earth span in like an hour.
Well, yeah, a little more than half the Earth span.
It could get from here to Japan within the hour, essentially. It sounds like.
Yeah, under an hour.
Under an hour. So wow, can you imagine?
I think the total put it this way.
It's like, let's see what's happening in Michigan. Okay, let's see what's happening in Japan.
From here to England, it's about 3,000 miles.
Right.
So it'd be there in
45 minutes.
Maybe 30 minutes.
I was trying to play. It was late.
I know.
It was late. You were late.
That's why you can't really go up there, because those things even do.
He's waiting. He's waiting for. He's waiting to be needed.
I just want to be wanted.
I just want to be fun. But yeah, that's why it's kind of hard to clean it up, because even that stuff goes and beats up on the International Space Station from time to time.
Well, I'm just saying, like, put something into orbit with like a set of claws or something.
Yeah.
So it's going the same speed.
Okay.
And then just have it kind of have a set of boosters or something on it so that it can go a little bit faster to grab something or try to slow down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
How about an interstellar bulldozer?
They can make
Well,
Wally.
actually, I was going to take it up a notch.
They can make Wally.
I was going to say
just put him in orbit and let him grab things.
Let's just give Chuck Norris like a spacesuit and a jetpack, and he'll just go up there and punch everything out of orbit.
Wait, he doesn't even need a spacesuit or
He doesn't breathe oxygen. Duh.
He just.
Oh, fair enough.
You just launch him into space with a slingshot.
Yeah.
that he backs up himself.
Right.
Oh my God.
Those monster slugs. All right. So what else?
Yeah,
has
NASA's been pretty.
done in the.
Yeah, NASA's been really busy lately. They got this other thing too. Have you guys ever heard of chainmail?
Yes, the thing that medieval people used to wear.
Yes. Well, basically.
To not die.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, basically.
I thought they were talking about the stuff because isn't that chain mill? Because I was thinking of the stuff that like old people still pass along to me, and I delete from my inbox.
Are you talking about like send this along in 24 hours, or else you will die in
chain
3
mail?
days?
Oh, you're thinking chain mail, not chain mail. Okay, I see what you mean.
Isn't it chain mill? Like, isn't it MIL?
No, it's chain mail.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I've been saying it wrong then.
Apparently you have.
That's confusing. Why did they name something like that?
English is a bad language, okay?
It's
a very confusing word.
I just want to know why they named like a
English
chain
is
letter
difficult
after something
language to know, but it can be understood through tough, thorough thought, though.
Yes.
So anyway, NASA's been working on this chainmail design. Basically, to protect its spacecraft from the rigors of deep space, a team of NASA engineers is turning to a time-honored and battle-proven solution, chainmail. Led by Raul Palit Casillas, whose mother is a fashion designer in Spain, the group at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory has developed a prototype fabric that puts an extraterrestrial spin on the armor of yore. The fabric is strung together from a series of articulated metallic tiles which reflect light on one side and absorb it on the other, providing a mechanism for thermal regulation. Pliable yet durable, it can be also manipulated into a variety of shapes without ceding tensile strength. The versatility makes the material well suited for a range of potential applications, shielding objects deployed in space from debris, or even insulating spacesuits for astronauts. Future explorers could even use it to pave our unstable alien terrain without melting the ice beneath.
Hold up.
So if we were going to do an orbital bulldozer, so to speak, this might be a good technology to use for it.
Hold up. One, I don't know if we can call it a technology, because we're talking about the stuff that knights used to wear that's heavy as crap.
It's technology still.
It's modernized.
It's technically...
Back then, a catapult was technology.
That's true.
I was going to... Okay, so getting past that, we're talking about the stuff that knights used to wear, right? The, like, you put it over your head and it weighed 1,000,000 pounds. And you were slow, but you were happy because you didn't die. So now they're discovering that it can be used for pretty much...
Let me get at that. Basically...
Because they're like, with its, like... How did you put that? Basically saying it was very easily movable. I feel like those dudes were probably, like, stiff.
Not with chainmail.
No, chainmail. Plate mail was... You're thinking of plate mail, or basically like armor plating, like an actual like.
No. I was thinking about the chainmail, but I feel like it's so heavy that it would be hard to move.
Chainmail is heavy, but it also allows you to move, because even though it's basically
a bunch of little tiny links, right?
Yeah, think about basically a chain link fence.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. So it's still kind of heavy, but it still moves. If you can raise your arms, you don't have to worry about, going, oh no, can't go there, I must go back down with my arm.
And rather than the full metal suits that were previously used by knights.
Instead of a full metal jacket.
Well, I believe they even incorporated the two together. People would wear like the chainmail like underneath.
Yes.
Like to cover up like the open segments of their armor, like for example, like between their knees or their leg joints or their elbows. Right. They would use chainmail to cover up the spaces in between.
I wonder what came first, the full metal armor?
Chainmail.
Chainmail came first?
Chainmail came first because swords were used as more of a hack and slash kind of thing originally. in Europe, and they used chainmail because chainmail stopped hacking and slashing.
Mm-hmm.
The way, if you take like
I'd imagine there's still some crush force to account for, though.
Yeah, it's the thing. So like if you take like a kitchen knife to a chain link fence, right? It's just gonna go. It's not gonna do anything.
Right.
But if you take something that's a little bit stiffer, that's still pointed, you can still cut through a chain link fence pretty easily.
Right.
And that's what ended up happening is they started developing swords and stuff to be
Or arrows.
That are more focused at the point,
right,
instead of the edge. So it's a lot easier to thrust through chainmail. Chainmail's not good at blocking a thrust.
Right.
It just separates like this. So that's why they created plate mail, because plate mail couldn't be stabbed through unless it was an incredibly sharp sword or incredibly bad armor. So you had plate mail put on, so people were just going tunk 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 and just smacking each other, which then necessitated the use for maces and warhammers, because those could break plate armor if swung hard enough, or if you have a spike on the end of a warhammer, the backside of a warhammer,
right,
you can penetrate through that because it's a point.
Right.
And that's where the catapult comes in.
And yes.
We're just going to launch a giant flaming rock at them instead.
Or dead bodies with the plague in them. 1, 2.
Oh, that works too.
That's what the Huns did.
Really?
Yeah, that's how people theorize that the Black Death, the Black Plague, came to Europe, was because at the time the Huns were still ravaging the steppes in Asia, but Europeans were still we want to kind of go this way, and the Huns were like, no, we want to go this way, and so their guys would die, and their people would die from Black Plague, but it was rumored that they would then load them up in catapults, and because they would siege the Europeans.
Right.
The Europeans couldn't fight, hand to hand, or man to man with them, so they would just hide out in their forts and hey, they can't get us. But then they would shoot these dead bodies over,
or mice,
that were plague infested. That came afterwards. That came on the ships that were moving from the Black Sea through the Mediterranean Sea into Europe.
So it's essentially something similar to us dropping thousands of mice into jungles to stop snakes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like we covered a few weeks ago.
Except doing the opposite. It's to infect people instead.
Exactly.
Huh.
Well, lovely. So, oh, man.
Yeah,
Dark.
So your futurized chainmail, what exactly does it do?
Well, basically, unlike its medieval counterpart, which involved linking together tiny rings of hard-forged steel, JPL's take employs a far less laborious process of 3D printing, or 4D, depending on who you ask. Additive...
No, 3. 3, there's no fourth dimension yet.
Okay. Well, additive manufacturing, basically 3D printing on an industrial scale, makes the process of creating novel materials cheaper and easier. And it's even without taking into account future leaps and bounds in technology. The quick turnaround in particular makes tinkering with designs a breeze. Equally flexible is the composition of the fabric itself. For their prototype, this researcher, Paulette Cassilis, sorry, I'm tripping over myself, and his colleagues use standard 3D printer grist, plastic filaments that are melted and deposited in layers, then exposed to UV light to fuse them into shape. Future astronauts, on the other hand, may make do with found materials such as the native soil of other worlds, or by recycling cast-off hardware. So you guys remember I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
3D printing dust. After all, squandering resources is a luxury you can ill afford when you're light years from Earth. But even those of us on terra firma today can imbue objects with unique functionalities beyond the structural. An aluminum plate with a heat-radiating design, for instance, is far more useful than one without. They can even program new functions into the material they're printing. That also reduces the amount of time spent on integration and testing. You can print, test, and destroy material as many times as you want.
Yeah.
So essentially, basically, like this chainmail they're working on, it's technological. It serves a purpose. It can insulate. They can reprogram it. They can make it perform for certain purposes.
So here's my question then, and I don't know if it was answered in the CBS News thing you got it from, but chainmail, like we said before, was very good at stopping things from ripping by you, right? You wouldn't get cut from a slash.
Mm-hmm.
My question is what happens when you get hit in the gut with a
speeding bullet?
Yeah. Well, that and or
a sword?
No, a giant chunk of metal that's sharpened to a T that just comes spiraling around the earth at 1,000 miles an hour and it rips you in half.
Well, you know what? At that point, there's not really much you can do.
So then what? So here's the question.
Kevlar.
Yeah, Kevlar will work.
No, what you need is some good hard oak.
Yeah, just a nice trusty piece of slab of oak. You tell you what you got. You got sand it down first. Then you got to input your design on that thing and burn if you have to, maybe engrave it. But then after that, put a nice finished lacquer on it, and then that'll stop just about anything from getting in your way. No, the question I have then is, okay, so you put this stuff on before you take off,
right?
Before you come out of the spaceship, and then you put the suit on over top of that, the spacesuit, and then maybe put another chainmail on top of that.
Then you can't move.
Because it's already next to impossible to move in a freaking spacesuit to begin with. So
well, the thing is, it's not so much something that you're going to put on before or after. It's something that would be integrated into the suit.
So make it even heavier.
So make it even heavier.
Insulation and.
But then here's the question: is where in the suit is this integrated in? Because if it's not integrated close enough to the surface and the suit gets cut, you're gonna die. You're gonna shoot out like a balloon in a freaking full of helium. Oh. And then be dead in space. So that was my question. I don't know if it was answered in there.
I don't think it was.
I'm not entirely sure I caught your question.
How are they gonna make the suit work, Mark?
Oh my God.
How are they gonna do that?
Hey, you forgot mock lobster.
Mock lobster.
Mock lobster. I think they might have covered it in the link. I didn't get everything in there, but
He's laughing at me. I did a funny face right before you started. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Okay, well.
No, I was laughing at what Mark said.
Oh boy. Wait, hang on. Scroll back up. Scroll.
Okay.
Scroll your boat gently up the stream.
The picture?
Yeah. Merrily. Life is what a dream.
But a dream, not what a dream.
But a dream.
Get it right or don't sing it.
So basically, I'm not even entirely. I'm pretty sure like their plans for using this isn't even just for spacesuits. They're talking about protecting spacecraft with it. It's basically to increase the durability of it.
I still don't understand how they're going to integrate this into anything.
That is my biggest question. It honestly is.
Honestly,
okay,
hold up.
It doesn't look like chainmail. It looks like a 5-year-old bedazzled a piece of cloth.
Mom, guess what? This will protect you from the sun's interstellar rays, and it'll also keep you safe from junk that's flying around outside Earth's orbit.
And then
Mark needs something like that. He gets sunburnt like crazy.
That's just because I go outside a lot, but I even out quickly anyways.
Yeah, but if you're wearing this reflective suit, you just sunburn everyone.
That's what happens when you suntan naked. You even out pretty easily.
Oh yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah, totally naked.
Gotcha. I'm covered. Got you covered.
Yep.
Which is why he was late, because he was
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, but all this talk about space has me thinking of a certain movie. You know what movie that is?
What movie is that?
It's not Star Trek. It is. Insert.
Movie Madness Monday! Movie Madness Monday!
That could have been so much smoother.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I thought he was actually gonna name a movie, and then he wanted me to play it.
Star Wars.
See, I thought he was gonna say Star Wars, and then I was gonna play the track.
Oh, sorry.
And he's like, insert here, and I'm like, oh, got it.
Insert here.
So yes, basically, Star Wars is celebrating 40 years now. So yeah, 40 years ago, 2 words flash on the movie screen.
And all critics thought it would do terrible.
I know, right? Tells you what the critics know.
What's actually interesting is if you look at the sequels like this, 4 was looked like George Lucas was only planning on doing the 1.
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't know how it was going to be.
Right.
So 4 was a complete movie.
Yeah, that's true.
5 was set up as a prequel. It might have been a sequel, but it was a prequel to 6. It set up the 6th movie. So he knew how good number 4 did. So he was like, I can kind of make 5 and 6 basically part 1, part 2 of this by stretching it out a little bit.
Well, and then he decided to, after it did phenomenal, he's like, you know what? There's more that I wanted to tell before.
There's more.
So I'm going to go back.
I'm going to go back to the before times with Anakin Skywalker.
I'm like...
As a human.
And then Jar Jar Binks come in and it's like,
So basically, so
Didn't we determine at one point he might be the Sith Lord?
Yes, we did.
that is a fan theory.
Mister, I'm gonna kill you.
So basically, the first Star Wars movie opened in theaters on May 25th of 1977 and created an instant sensation with its groundbreaking special effects, rousing adventure, inspiring heroes, and chilling villains. It made household names of George Lucas, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and of course Harrison Ford, not to mention Darth Vader, C-3PO, R2-D2, and countless aliens and adventurers of the Star Wars universe, and it became a cultural touchstone for the generation. From the moment the curtain went up 40 summers ago, Star Wars, later retitled Episode 4, A New Hope, was more than a movie. It was a phenomenon. Giving birth to multimedia empire of movies. TV shows, books, comic books, video games, etc., all of it. From the original trilogy to the prequels, the infamous holiday special, to the Star Wars Lego movie universe and all that, the first film paved the way to modern blockbuster franchises. Star Wars even has its own annual holiday now, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. As well as the 5th, Revenge of the 5th. The Force isn't just with us, it's stronger than ever. So really, Star Wars has been around for a long, long time now, longer than any of us. And it's still going strong, so that's good.
It's been around for a long time. Yeah, we're all in our 20s.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were around in 90. What about you, Lucas? Were you around in 97?
97, yeah. Not 77.
Oh, 77. My bad. Sorry.
97, I was 3 years old. I was.
I'm all discombobulated today.
I had just gotten off breast milk. I was right. So I don't know exactly what you're asking me here. But
sorry, I'm all discombobulated.
It's all right. I feel bad for Mark Hamill, though.
Why?
Because he did the 3 movies and then became the Joker, and that was it. I think I saw him in an episode of Murder, She Wrote once, and that was it. And if you look at him, with the exception of Luke and the Joker, he does not have a very big acting resume.
Well, you know what's funny though? Would you rather, if you could star in one series, like film series, would you or would you not want it to be Star Wars?
I would want it to be Star Wars
because he's probably.
Well, the thing is, it comes down to doing something like that is going to cause you to be typecasted. Like, for example, Robert Downey Jr., usually, most people, the first person that comes to mind when they think Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah, but if you look at all the stuff he's done
over the years,
since his comeback from his whole drug and alcohol addiction, right? He's done a ton.
Oh, he has done.
It's not just Iron Man and a few other movies. He's done a ton.
Oh yeah,
he has acted his butt off.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think Mark Hamill got typecasted, obviously.
Definitely.
Right.
But B, I don't think he's really honestly that great an actor then, because if you can't, if you're two most notable,
or he's too picky.
He could be too picky when therein lies an issue because he took a chance on Star Wars. So, I wouldn't say he's super picky. I think he's just,
Well, no, I'm thinking then he was young, and he probably could have, I'm this great success, and then he became picky.
He became He became an airhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
look at Carrie Fisher. I know she's memorable for Star Wars, but
I think Harrison Ford is one of the only actresses out of that movie that you know.
Did anything? Well, yeah, he's in multiple
but he
films. He's headed 2 main juggernaut franchises.
What was Indiana Jones? That was after Star Wars, right?
I think it was during and after.
I think it was kind of like in between. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna film some Star Wars, now I'm gonna go back and form some indie.
Well, because he's like, you know him as, you know, from Star Wars. You know him from Indiana Jones. You know him from, there's a whole bunch of other movies he's in that I can't think of right now.
He's a very talented actor, and he wanted to act, so he went and did.
I wonder if Mark Hamill just decided, hey, this is not really for me. I want to do voice work, and that's why he switched over to the Joker.
Which is fine.
But he came back for the new series because he was part of the original cast, and he's like, okay, I'll do it again just for these movies. I mean, that could have been it.
About that.
I mean,
they're dropping like flies.
I was talking to someone earlier today about just the radio business.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was actually the guy that I interviewed with, and he's like, hey, there's a lot of people that I hire that just decide, hey, radio's not for me.
Yeah.
You know, they realize how much work it is, and they're like, yeah, it's not for me. I mean, in specs, you know, people were dropping out like flies. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we probably lost maybe what?
Half
30?
of our class.
I don't know about half. Maybe
Half of our
30%,
class.
maybe 30%.
Half of our class.
I'd have to look.
We were like a class of 20, and we ended up like a class of. No, we were a class.
I think we lost like 10 people over the whole course.
Okay.
And we started off with like 24 or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it dwindled its way down to like 14, I think. Something like that.
You find out it's not.
Well, and then even once you get to graduation, there was more that dropped off too.
Yeah.
Because there was more people who couldn't graduate or were taking another class.
One of my guys got arrested.
Did he really?
He finished all his classes, but he got arrested and he couldn't make it to graduation.
Oh my God, that's gotta.
And they were like, "Where's he at?" And they're like, "He's arrested." He's like, "Oh,
he's in jail."
He's in jail.
There goes his media career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I did a time.
I did my time, and now I'm back.
Did my time, now I'm back, and everything's changed. Now I have to go to school again.
I'm rapping. I'm rapping and stuff.
What are you wrapping? Presents? What'd you get me?
Exactly. It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Star Wars has done great, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's a money horse.
But you know what I think the issue was for the second series?
What?
Or the second trilogy? Is that there was no main character no main actor, I should say, not main character, main actor that really followed the entire series. Obi-Wan was kind of a secondary character.
Right.
You know, he felt like watching 1 through 3 again, as I have before. No one really stood out as this is the lead, or this group right here. These are the leads. These are the people that we want to follow, because it was like, oh hey, cut away to Mace Windu, cut away to Yoda, cut away to Anakin Skywalker, cut away to Qui-Gon, cut away to Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know.
Okay, now here's a question.
They did a little bit of that with the originals though too.
They did, but they were for the most part. There weren't as
many people though.
But for the most part, it was like Luke and Han Leia. Luke, Han, and Leia. It wasn't balanced. It wasn't like wiping all over.
That's true.
The solar system.
Here's my question. Okay, how do you watch these movies? Do you do the original? What was it? There's 3 original, right?
4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3.
That's how they were made.
That's how they were made.
And then does it bug the crap out of you that you've got CG movies or CGI movies and then low grade movies?
Well, they've gone back and remastered them.
Have they?
Oh, 4, 5, and 6. If you actually look in the original,
a lot of people were mad about that.
Yeah, in the original 4, 5, and 6. Well, I'm glad they did, because if you look at the original 4, 5, and 6 and 4, there's a scene where Vader is talking to the Emperor via giant hologram.
Right.
And George Lucas's original idea for the Emperor was a monkey in a mask. Which everyone's like, George,
why?
I know you're a director, but that's like short bus material you got right there. You can't do that. This is a movie. So they took it out and they put a human being underneath the mask. But its eyes were globby and weird looking, and it didn't look like a human being.
Right.
Right. So they went back in the early 2000s, and they put the guy who played Palpatine, who actually played Palpatine,
right,
in episodes 5, 6, and 1, 2, and 3. That guy. They inserted
him.
Inserted him with the original the original dialogue still. So he just mouthed the words, but then they redid it again, and yeah.
Oh, good God,
Take a look at this picture.
Look at this. Look at that. It looks like some. I mean, I get it's Star Wars.
What in the world?
That thing,
Exactly. Yeah. That was the original fourth Star Wars movie, or Episode 4, New Hope.
Oh, okay. And then that's the remastered.
Yes, that is the remastered.
Yeah, and
So
that's
much better.
So much better. Yes, definitely.
So
But still, a lot of
You
people
should
were
post those on the page.
Post them on the page. Okay.
Right.
A lot of people were upset about it though too, because they went back in Return of the Jedi, and at the very end with the whole Jawa scene, they did some serious changes with that.
They did a music change.
They did a music
they
change?
did
Music. It was.
They did some graphic change with it too.
A little bit. There wasn't a ton, but
a lot of people were upset about the graphic change.
I remember people were upset about the music change because it was the Ewoks singing
Jug
like,
Love or whatever their song
yeah,
is.
yum nom 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 nom. It was like stupid like teddy bears.
Right.
Kind of. Oh hey, let's sell action figures for these things. So that's why I put them in the freaking movie. And then they changed it in episode 6 when they redid it to them playing instruments instead of singing.
Oh,
which
okay.
I've heard the original versus the changed version. I am so glad again he changed it.
Well, and then like they went in and there was like a part where Han Solo was wearing his vest and then not wearing his vest and wearing his vest and not wearing his vest in between scenes.
Yeah, continuity errors.
And well, and then I heard that they went in and actually put on a vest on him where he was. That's what I heard. I wasn't positive, but that's what I heard is to fix the continuity errors. They went in and put the vest on because it was literally one shot vest, one shot no vest, one shot vest. But they were so subtle that you could sometimes, if you weren't paying attention,
you could see it, but
you could just miss it.
Yeah.
But in being an editor, I could see how that could be something that could be missed.
Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah, the devil's in the details, you know.
It is.
Exactly.
It's like even today, it's like I was.
But could you imagine staring at a screen for 14 hours and then go, "Okay, I'm done for today," and then just submit it and.
So I'm done. I'm tired.
And the only difference you've made is a vest.
Exactly.
Well, no, I was talking about the guys who originally did it. They were probably like 14 hours into it, and they're like, "Okay, this chunk's done."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
let's finish the thought.
Right. They're like, "I'm done. I'm going to bed."
Good night, everybody. I'm glad they changed a lot of stuff around. Because otherwise, if you look back on it,
some of the stuff was dumb.
It was dumb, but it wasn't just dumb. It was bad.
Yeah.
And not like if you go back and watch the original Jurassic Park on VHS, that thing, I know it's animatronic, but it's also part CGI T-Rex.
Right.
But it still looks good. The CGI part.
Right.
It still looks good. It still looks and acts like you thought a T-Rex would act. But that bulbous-eyed devil thing that was the original Emperor was not good.
No.
It was. I understand that it came out X amount of years before Jurassic Park, obviously. But if you're able to do intergalactic space battles with toys and puppets, you should be able to pull off a face.
Right.
Somehow. I mean.
Yeah.
I think I can agree with that.
Actually, if you go back and watch the originals too, you can if you kind of got to squint at it, but if you look closely, you can see the strings that were holding up all the starships during their.
Wait, in the originals?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that those were.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. No, here's what they did. For a lot of the starship battles, because they couldn't afford originally, especially with 4,
right.
They couldn't afford the budget.
Right.
They couldn't afford the CGI budget to render all those things in. So what they did is they set them against a completely black background, and they basically turned them into toys on not sticks, but toys on a string.
They did They did the same thing for Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yep. As a matter of fact, they actually a lot of like the space scenes for Star Trek, they actually filmed upside down because the ship was top heavy, and so they would hold the ship upside down, and then they would like flip the camera so it looks right side up, or something along those lines.
Well, it's kind of like So I don't know if you guys know anything about the Dort Mall here on Dort Highway in Flint.
Not much.
The guy who owned it was named Pirani, and he was an avid collector of movie props.
Really?
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll love this. So he bought the Dort Mall to store a lot of these movie props.
Tell me he's got a lightsaber.
No, he did have an original Darth Vader suit.
Nice.
And R2-D2, C-3PO, and a Stormtrooper.
Nice.
Like suits?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Those are since gone. He passed away, and his kids are selling stuff off.
Oh.
Those were one of the first things to go. I was mad. But if you
bet
walk
they got
through,
some good money for them, though.
they've got movie props, and there's actually little models of ships.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently what they used to do is, because I was reading some of the stuff, these little model ships were like, Pirates of the Caribbean when they show the ship sailing. Mm-hmm. It's a little model.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little model of a ship that they've got probably in like a pool or something. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like they'll change the background, and so it looks like a ship sailing in the open seas when it's really just a model of this thing.
Of this little boat
sailing in a pool.
In a pool.
So he had, but they were intricate. If you actually looked at it, it had everything that a real ship had. It was just miniature. It's almost like they took a giant ship, decked it all out, and then shrunk it.
Yeah.
But it would like the detail on this thing was remarkable.
Oh yeah.
But I was reading this and I'm like, no. But it makes so much more sense that way. Because you're sitting there watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and you're like, they made a ship. They're like,
how did they do that?
Like, how did they do that? And now I'm not sure if they actually did that in Pirates of the Caribbean, but a lot of the older ship movies, that's what they did. If there was a ship,
my favorite part,
it would be a little
Pirates
tiny
of
one.
the Caribbean is always going to be like from the first one where they're in like one of the ship battles and like a cannonball comes through, just misses Captain Jack. Is just like, stop blowing holes in my ship.
You know what I hate about Pirates of the Caribbean?
What?
It is never ending.
True.
Oh,
There's
know what?
a new one coming out.
I still got.
That's why I said it's never ending.
They're probably going to be making a couple more at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's already been.
Here's the thing. I'm just glad that some of the original cast is back. Keira Knightley's coming back for some stuff. Orlando Bloom's coming back for some stuff. Johnny Depp's going to come back.
Orlando's coming back?
He's coming back because his character is the entire.
Johnny Depp never left Pirates of the Caribbean. He was even in the
I know, but
fourth
he's
one.
not like leaving.
Bloom didn't leave either, did he?
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom,
he wasn't in 4.
He wasn't. Yeah. No.
Oh right, there was a 4.
Captain
I didn't
Jack
see.
was like the only character that was in 4, I think.
I saw 3, and then a 4 came out, and I was.
No, you're like,
Same,
no, I'm
same.
done.
I'm like, no, I'm done. Because I wasn't even really into the movies in the first place. Like, I ended up watching them because I later found out that I'm like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah.
But it wasn't it's not like a hangover to me. Like, to me, The Hangover, I'll go back and watch it like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, I was like,
oh no, it's not a rewatch.
You see,
series all the time.
I watched it once, and after 3, I'm like, you know what? That was a good end. That's how I'm going to remember the movie and just stop.
You see, when it comes to series like that, I think it's worthwhile to, rewatch the entire series maybe, every couple years.
Well, but that's why I don't buy them either, because if I bought, the first 3, to me, I have to buy the entire, I have to have the entire thing.
Otherwise, it's no good.
If you look at any of the series that I have upstairs, I've got American Pie from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. I have Fast and Furious from beginning to end. Yeah. And you can't see it up there because someone borrowed it, but I have Harry Potter beginning to end. If I have part of a movie, I even have all 3 Hangovers, even though 2 sucked. And 3 should have been the 2. I still have them all because to me, I have to own the entire series.
The entire set.
It's kind of like Toy Story. My grandma at her house has Toy Story 2 on DVD and 1 and 2 on. I don't know. She's got some on DVD, and I'm gonna have to go back and buy Toy Story 1 on DVD because they've got it somewhere. And Toy Story 2 on DVD, so then that way I can have when the new one comes out, they're probably gonna they'll probably put out a pack. It'll come out of the Disney vault. Yeah. And they'll
never come back out again forever.
That is the best marketing scheme that has ever come out of anywhere.
Oh, it's
ever.
true.
Oh, because once it.
Mark?
What?
You ever heard those commercials?
Which commercials?
For the Disney Vault?
Oh, yeah. Those are all the little short films and stuff they got, right?
No.
Disney Vault is what happens, when
Cinderella... I've heard of the Disney Vault. I'm just not entirely sure what it is.
When Disney,
remasters a movie? Or
re-releases a movie like Cinderella, they'll be like, coming back onto the...
being released from the Disney Vault.
From the Disney Vault, Cinderella 50th year anniversary edition. And it'll be like, oh, this is this and this is this. See the new quality and the new colors and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yeah. But be careful. Get this before it goes back in the Disney Vault forever. Because it's never going to come back out ever again.
Well, but it's funny because once that point passes, you can't find the movie anywhere.
No, Disney's good at that. They're
It is
good at
gone.
But it will come back out again, though. That's
Oh, it will. No, it'll be remastered and come back out again. But
or not
the
even
thing is,
remastered, but just
the thing is you don't know when. It could be 20 years until that movie
It'll probably
comes
be
out
something
again.
like big, like the next big 25. You know, like hey, okay, 75-year anniversary or 100-year anniversary.
Well, no, it's like because they do this all the time. Like when probably my guess is when the new Toy Story movie comes out, they're going to re-release
1 through 3.
1 through 3, or a box set, like a special box set, including the new movie.
They did the same thing with Fast and Furious. Every time the newest one comes out to DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, they do the Steelbook collections, and the Steelbooks are only available for like a month.
But that's what the Disney Vault is they only release so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they say get it before it's gone, because once the Disney Vault closes,
it doesn't open.
It doesn't open until the next time they want to re-release a movie. But the funny part about it, like I said, you cannot find that movie anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. No. Once the Disney Vault is closed, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, do they actually have like a physical, literal vault?
No. It's a marketing scheme.
Okay.
So literally, they put up a commercial that says, once the Disney Vault, quote unquote, vault closes, pretty much meaning they're releasing only a certain amount.
Yeah.
So then that way, when people go, like, if it closes, by that point, they're pretty much sold out of them.
Yeah, and if they're not, they say, hey, just send it back.
Right.
So it's clever because it's like, oh my gosh, I might not get to buy my childhood classic favorite for a long time from now.
So then everybody rushes to buy them.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And if people run out, they probably have a backstock somewhere. So if they run out and the Disney Vault hasn't closed yet, quote unquote, they'll send more. But once they've got, because they'll set a date, they'll be like, the Disney Vault's gonna close,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like it's like because it's not even all the time when there's a sequel either. Like when they send out the crappy to DVD or to VHS sequels,
right?
It wasn't like I think they just made a third Cinderella, probably like I don't know.
They made a second one?
Yeah, they did. They made a third one
Shows
like
how much I know.
a few years ago.
It's because some of the sequels don't do that well.
Oh, the Disney is terrible with sequels. So I'm not.
Didn't Aladdin have a sequel as well?
It has 2.
And Mulan. The Mulan sequel wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad.
No, that was pretty good.
But it was a direct-to-DVD.
Right.
It felt like a direct-to-DVD. You weren't sitting there going, this is a fully animated cinematic masterpiece. It was, no. It's Mulan
I got
for $5 in the Walmart bin.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing, I think it's probably going to be direct-to-DVD, but I can't wait for Super Troopers 2. That's going to be... No, it's official. They're doing it.
No, I know they're doing it. I know they get the money.
It
wouldn't be direct to DVD. That's going to hit certain theaters.
That's just what I heard. I heard it was going to be direct to DVD.
I wouldn't.
I doubt it.
Would be.
Because if I remember right, their funding scheme or marketing or whatever was kind of dodgy or whatever. I think the entire movie was based off.
What it was is nobody would fund the movie.
It was like
so they went to a funding page.
It was
and
like
said,
a
listen,
GoFundMe or something like that for the movie.
That's what it was. It was Indiegogo. They went to set up an Indiegogo page, which is pretty much a money-raising page, and said, listen, if you donate this much money, you get this. If you donate this much money, you get this. And the higher the higher the amount, the cooler the stuff. Like the highest amount was like you got a Super Trooper car from the movie.
Oh, wow.
When they were done filming. The second highest was you got to go out to lunch with the cast or something like that. So it wasn't really dodgy. It was just the fact that nobody would pick up the movie for a second go, because I don't think the first one did that well in sales.
Yeah, it became more of a cult classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's kind of like if if Boondock Saints ever does another movie? If they do, that's probably going to be one of those
less expensive
sequels that I mean, but there's enough of a following out there for it that it will make decent.
Yep.
Enough for them to make their money back, but no company is ever going to stand behind it. No. What I heard was there was a company that said if you make this much money, or if you make enough to film the movie, we'll put it out for you, or something like that. I swear that's what it was. I thought we reported on something like that a while back. That it was. I think it actually might have been before you were on, Luke. But No, anyway, so it wasn't really that dodgy. It was just they're like, listen, we need money to do the movie. The more money we get, the better the movie's going to be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they got way over their goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was kind of like if we get cut short, we're going to refund everybody and not. But I'm pretty sure they knew that they were going to get at least the minimum amount that they needed to make the movie.
Yeah.
But they were pushing for more.
Right. Hey, I mean, more's better. It gets you.
And they got a lot more.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty decent movie. But I think they got a company that would distribute it for them.
You think
They got a distributor that would do the whole theater thing and
Do you
distribute
think it would
DVDs.
be better than the first, or you think it'd be as good or not as good?
I'm hoping it'll be at least as good.
Yeah, because I mean,
I don't know if anything can top the first one. The first one had so many different unique
it was gold.
qualities to it.
It really is a cult classic.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, but like I said, Boondock Saints 2 was just as good as the first one.
I only saw the first one.
2's really good.
I want to see the second one. I
I
know it's got
got
that
it.
guy. It's got that guy from Walking Dead in it. What's his name?
He's in all of them.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
He's one of the main characters.
Yeah, he's one of the brothers.
Yes.
How many Boondock Saints are there?
2.
Okay, you were saying he's in all of them or whatever. I'm like, all of them.
Well, you made it sound like he was just in 2, and I'm like, dude.
When you say all of them, it makes it sound like there's more than 2. I know he was in the first one. I know he's in the second one. He's one of the
But
brothers.
you made it
He's one of
sound
the
like he was
characters.
just in the second one, and I'm like, dude, he was the main character. He was one of the brothers.
I know he was in
Either
the
way,
first one.
you're both fighting over the same terminology. Anyway,
Who
so
asked you? No,
I'm
I'm kidding.
I will eat you.
He intervened. I will eat you.
So, we got a little bit
I'm
of time
scared.
left, right? So let's talk about this last thing here.
Oh, okay.
What is your favorite TV show? Is your favorite TV show going to come back for another season? What would yours be?
Mine?
Yes.
Well, I've already read through the list, so I haven't. Because one of my favorite shows that I'm doing right now is getting canceled.
Which one?
Which one?
Well, I'll get to it on the
Is
list.
it iZombie?
It is not.
You see, if I could have any... Wait, are we talking animated shows as well?
Any show on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox,
Jeez, this is a long list,
CW.
dude. I don't even know.
Pretty much any of them, because there is animated on there too.
Okay, I want Young Justice Season 3. That's what I want.
I don't know if that's on here.
Good.
But okay.
Good. Two Broke Girls is ending.
I hate that, or I love that show.
Okay,
I
well,
did not
hate
think it was
this
that good.
Well, hang on. Let's go through this list.
Hang on.
We could probably just go through this list and talk about each show.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it's my.
Take
This is mine.
Take
My turn to
the
talk.
helm, Captain.
Take it away, Aaron.
So ABC is canceling a lot of shows, but they're also keeping quite a few.
Okay, what's renewed?
So the renewed are Agents of Shield.
I heard that's a good show.
It is. It is a pretty good show.
That's for season 5.
I heard it conflicts with the movies.
No, it doesn't.
But Blackish
It
is
goes
going to
with
be season 4.
I'm not really sure what Blackish is.
It's a show
About
about
black people.
pretty much.
Oh,
There we go.
And then
that's all you need to know.
Designated Survivor is
Yeah.
getting a season 2.
Never heard of it.
Fresh Off the Boat is getting season 4.
I heard about that one.
That's
like
an Asian show.
Yeah.
It's Asian.
It's about Asians moving into America.
Oh, okay.
But Designated Survivor is actually a pretty good show.
I couldn't get into it.
I liked it.
Anyway, the Goldberg season
Not sure what that
renewed
was
for
either.
5 and 6.
It's
It's
about Jewish people.
yeah.
Huh.
Grey's Anatomy for a 1,000th season.
I'm
That's
not
about
into
Dr.
Grey's
People.
Anatomy, but my girlfriend is.
I followed it for a while. I went back and I watched
didn't
some
know
of them,
this.
and then I got bored.
I found out that Grey's Anatomy is actually an old textbook.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the name of an actual textbook.
Huh.
Really?
That's where they got the name from.
Oh. Do they
and
base
then,
the show off of it?
No.
No.
so then you got Get Away with Murder season 4.
Okay.
I liked the first season. I didn't watch the second season. I didn't watch the third season.
I watched the first season. I haven't seen the second or the third. I need to catch up.
I've heard
I
of
do
it.
too.
Never watched it.
The middle is, which is pretty much Malcolm in the Middle, just
It is minus,
Malcolm.
Malcolm and Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Modern Family for season 10.
Not
I
surprised.
thought it was off. Honest to God, I thought that show was off.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
too.
know- I didn't
I don't
know.
like that show.
I didn't
Once
know that.
Upon
I
a
liked
Time is renewed for 7th season. But
my sister
here's
will
the
be
kicker.
happy.
Here's the kicker.
What?
Almost none of the original cast members are going to be on.
Why?
All the main, so like Prince Charming,
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
all the original main characters
Yeah.
aren't getting renewed.
Why not?
I don't know.
They wanted too much money or something.
I don't know. They just it said that there's going to be a lot that's not returning, and it's literally they listed off.
Well, it's not going to do well.
Well, they listed off all the characters that pretty much like
made the
Prince
show.
Charming and what is her name?
Snow White.
Snow White. And then you've got. I don't think Belle's going to be on there anymore.
Yeah.
The kid's not going to be on there anymore.
Oh, he's getting too old.
His mom's not going to be on there anymore.
Which one?
Emma?
The good one or the bad one?
Both of them.
Seriously?
They're both going to be gone.
What the heck? Okay. That's how you ruin a series.
Right.
Unless
at this point, I would just cancel it and leave it. Do one final episode that kind of unravels everything and then cancel it.
All right. Now I'm looking at this cancels list, and quite honestly, the only show on here I recognize is Last Man Standing, and I think that's the one that's got Tim Allen, right?
Yeah,
or is it the one with William Shatner?
No, that's the one with Tim Allen. It's another Home Improvement, just with all girls.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
Well, I'm sad. I love Last Man Standing. I thought it was great. The one
Home Improvement was better. I think.
No, I like them both. They both equally stood up. But my one problem is like after season 1 or 2, they dropped the middle sister and changed actors.
Oh.
Or the oldest sister and changed actresses.
That's always rough.
And I mean it's a big change too, like hair color. And I like the original.
Yeah.
They totally rewrote the character.
Well, no, it's the same. Like the character's the same, but the actress is completely different.
In every aspect.
Completely different look.
All right.
Honestly, looking at most of these, I haven't really.
American Crime wasn't really that good. The Catch I've never heard of. Conviction never heard of. Dr. Ken
don't know about it.
Dr. Ken was the guy from The Hangover, the Asian guy.
Oh, that's right.
And he's actually a doctor.
I know he is. Yeah.
He's actually a doctor until he did a show. He was supposed to be like a comedy about him being in a hospital.
Yeah.
And he was excited to be able to do medicine.
Yeah.
Because he was a doctor in that show. I haven't heard too many good things about it. Imaginary Mary is gone. The Real O'Neills is gone. Scandal is finally ending.
Yeah.
Secrets and Lies and Time After Time. I've never heard of half of these.
I've never heard of any of them except for Last Man Standing.
All right, CBS.
Well, hold up. There's a to be announced Quantico.
Never heard of that.
That's a big show that's on right now.
It's about Quantico.
So it really is.
Okay.
So renewed for CBS.
Yes, The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Through season 12.
And then Blue Bloods, which
season 8.
I've heard
My parents watched
That's really good.
Bull.
That one I really want to see.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Code Black, which I have no idea.
Nope.
Criminal Minds, which not surprised.
They need to end. They need to end it. Well, they lost Derek Morgan. They lost Aaron Hodgner.
Okay.
They lost pretty much half the cast.
Okay.
And at this point, I like who's left, but after Hodge was gone, I'm done. He punched one guy, and they're like, you're fired.
Elementary, which has in today's Sherlock Holmes, it's not too bad.
No, that one was pretty good.
The Good Fight.
YA50
on CBS All Access. So I don't know if that means it's only online.
I think it's only online.
Kevin Can Wait. Don't know what that is.
Life to Pieces.
MacGyver.
That's a new MacGyver. I've heard it's not bad.
Okay.
But I've watched the original series.
Yeah.
You see,
I'm one of those people that it has to be really good in order for me to like it. The same thing with there's another one on here. Give me a second. Maybe it's down more. There's another one that was named after a movie.
I don't know. Again, this is one of those lists where it's like I'm aware of maybe half these shows. Mm-hmm. And yeah, really the only show that stood out to me on this for CBS was Big Bang Theory.
What about NCIS?
Yeah,
I don't care for NCIS.
I love NCIS.
And not to mention they have how many shows?
Honestly, I like LA and New Orleans more than the original.
I like the original. I'm really not a fan of. I'm trying to think of which one's which. I like LA. I don't like New Orleans.
I don't like NCIS the original too much anymore because literally it is the exact same premise played out every single week. And
half the cast is gone.
Half the cast gone, and the other part is that
it's turning into a CSI. You remember how CSI pretty much the entire cast left and they kept it going?
Yeah. Well, here's my issue with it is that so you have a lot of the cast is gone. There's a lot of newbies, right?
Right.
The issue is that all of the old cast, you can't flush them out anymore.
Right.
Like you can't flush out Gibbs, you can't flush out McGee, you can't flush out Abby, you can't flush out Dr. Mallard or his assistant who was Jimmy. You can't flush those guys out anymore. They've all done their little their time because you've seen them for 15 years.
Right.
They've flushed out the character as much as possible. All these young people, all the young newbie ones, they have to have their characters flushed out. Right. They all have to have their issues. So you're sitting there going, well, these characters aren't changing at all. And it's not like the beginning of a series where you have characters that just don't change. They're solid as they are.
Mm-hmm.
And versus the characters that do change, you have old characters that are just sitting there going, yeah.
I'm here. And I'm getting paid for it.
And McGee's skinny now, so I can't handle this. Scorpion's Superior Donuts in the zoo.
I'm super excited about Scorpion.
Scorpion is good.
It's one of my favorites.
All right, let's see. It's canceled. Brain Dead. Criminal Minds Beyond Borders.
See, that was one that I was kind of excited about.
Or was it?
Beyond Borders? Yeah.
Oh, The Great Outdoors. Didn't really watch it. The Odd Couple, which, sorry, Matthew Perry, apparently he didn't do too good a job on a reboot.
I didn't see the show for it, but I saw the original 2 movies that they did for it, which I thought were great.
Pure Genius, which is the guy that takes like the pill to be super freaking smart.
No. That's Limitless.
That's
Limitless. Sorry.
Yeah.
Such a big difference.
And then you got 2 Broke Girls, which quite honestly,
I love that show.
I never heard anything good about it.
I love that show.
It's just
so
struck
much.
me as annoying.
It's so funny.
That's the one where like they're just like 2 waitresses and they're just both really freaking dumb.
That's
right?
not really what it is.
They're just bad at their jobs.
they're just horrible.
One of them. Well, the whole premise behind the show is one of them used to be rich.
Oh, okay.
And is trying. The blonde one used to be rich. Her dad got convicted of something, and they lost all their money. So now she's living with Max, who
is in a dumpster.
Always been poor. And they're trying to. Max makes really good cupcakes, and the blonde one, I don't remember her name. She knows how to run a business, so they're trying to run a cupcake business. And it shows like how their life is like they'll make a lot of money one show. Doing something, and then something will happen, and they'll lose a little bit or a lot of it, or they'll gain more. And so at the end, it tells you like a running total of what they made.
Doesn't strike me as horribly interesting.
It's funny more than anything. It's kind of like The Big Bang Theory. Like The Big Bang Theory really has nothing interesting going on, but with the cast,
he's right. It doesn't.
No, but with
but it's one of those shows you can sit down and really enjoy, though.
Well, that's what it is. It's the fact that you can sit down and watch it and be entertained because it's funny. There's really, in the scheme of things, there's nothing major going on.
That's true.
This is the same kind of show. There's nothing major going on, but you've got a whole bunch of people that I think are funny. Like, I think Max makes a lot of sexual innuendos that are really funny. And that's what makes the show for me, is the fact that, every time I watch it, I laugh.
All right, fair enough.
And so it's kind of like a Big Bang Theory. Like, if I didn't watch Two Broke Girls, if I didn't think that was funny, I probably wouldn't think Big Bang Theory was funny.
All right, you're right.
So, but I am surprised that it is ending.
On to NBC, you got The Blacklist.
That needs to end.
The Blind Spot, never heard of it.
Chicago
then you've got all the Chicagos.
Chicago PD.
And then The Good Place.
Law and Order SVU.
Oh, they need to end that show.
It's 19 seasons, too many shades of blue. Know it. Superstore, I've heard, is pretty funny. It's like they're supposed to be like basically Walmart workers, and they do stupid stuff in Walmart.
Oh, interesting.
This is Us, which I know a lot of people are going to be ecstatic that that's returning
through season 3.
Yeah, so it's only had 1 season, so everyone was like, oh, "This is just so."
So it's guaranteed to have 2 more seasons.
So
then you got Timeless.
Canceled. Oh, Timeless. Previously canceled, but brought back.
Yep.
Now canceled. The Blacklist, Redemption, Emerald City, Grimm, which I heard was kind of so-so. Powerless, and then to be announced, The Carmichael Show, Chicago Justice, and The Night Shift. Dude. My sister found The Night Shift on Netflix.
Right.
The first 2 seasons. So I gotta find 3 and watch it online or something.
Right.
That show. I have never watched a show about like medical practice like that. Those kind of shows. That honestly, there was like a handful of times where I'm like, I am about to cry at this show. It is a deeply moving show. It's not like Grey's Anatomy, like, Jim, he's dead. It's like, this kid has cancer and he can't breathe out of his nose, and it compounds stuff, because like all the doctors are doing different stuff the entire show.
Right.
Like, one has this, one has this, one has this. So it's like, oh my gosh, I can't handle all the sadness, but then there's a happy moment. And you're like, I'm content now.
You know it's never a happy moment?
What?
Bob's Burgers.
Shut the front door. I will knock your block off.
I watched it.
I suppose
okay?
you can't stand Rick and Morty either, can you?
That's what I figured, see?
No, but I watched it. I gave it a chance. I was sitting at a bar watching it, and I'm sitting there going, what am I watching? And
which season did you watch?
I don't know. I was sitting at a bar.
I'll admit Bob's Burgers is
playing.
so at times. I don't. It's not something I actively watch, but
I think it's one of those that you either like it or you don't. If you don't, it's.
I'm honestly iffy on it.
I mean, because I like Futurama and Family Guy and those, but I just.
Well, good.
To me, Bob's Burgers is just not.
I think if you watch the first season, as I watched the first season, I think I was gonna like it. And I started watching it with my sister. I didn't like the first season too much. Because they tried to just be way too bland. But as the series progressed, it got so much better. In my opinion.
Yeah, see, I just... it's not one of those that I've already got too much to watch. I'm not going to add one more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So we also got Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Which is Andy Samberg.
That was one that I wanted to watch.
Isn't that like supposed to be comedic?
Yeah, there's police station, and it's just Andy Samberg doing Andy Samberg, and it's like, okay, great.
That's about it.
Empire.
That's the show.
So Empire's coming back for fourth season. I don't care.
I bet like half of our class would be so happy about that. They loved Empire.
Last Man on Earth, season 4. Here's two.
Gotham's being renewed for anybody who likes Gotham.
Here's 2 that were movies that got turned into TV shows. Lethal Weapon has got a season 2. I'm curious. And then Taken has a season 2.
Wait, that Taken, is that the same Taken as the movie Taken?
That's what I'm assuming.
I don't think it is.
You don't think it is?
I don't think it is.
Because I was going to say, if it's supposed to be the same concept, one, how do you make that into a TV series?
Simpsons got approved through season 30.
Hopefully the last season is season 30.
Why? They're going to run that show into the ground.
I love The Simpsons.
It's run into the ground. It's near the mantle. It is near lava. It is almost about to die.
Anyway, so shows that are being canceled.
Well, hang on. They're also renewing X-Files. But okay, now
I'm gonna skim through. Bones is ending on season 12.
Yeah.
It's kind of about time.
New Girl's ending.
That's another one that's
Rosewood, Scream Queen.
That's why you were sad.
That's why I was sad, is because they're canceling Rosewood.
Sleepy Hollow is getting canceled.
Thank God Scream Queens is.
Yeah, Scream Queens I heard was awful.
Sons of Zorn is getting... And I watched that too.
I hope they bring back Wayward Pines. It's to be announced. That's actually a pretty good show if you watch it. Oh wait, you don't like thrillers though, do you?
No, not really.
If you like thriller stuff, Wayward Pines is excellent. But I've only watched the first season. I got to pick it up again.
All right, let's scroll through this CW thing.
iZombie's coming back for 4th season.
The Arrow and Flash is
Arrow,
back.
Flash, Supergirl,
Legends of Tomorrow,
Supernatural. Hell yes, I love Supernatural.
God.
I didn't even know if that show was still on. Like that was on when I was a kid.
Supernatural is still on. Yes.
It was on when I was a kid. Because like my mom used to like watch Charmed.
I love
it.
It
would always come on after Charmed.
I love Supernatural. It's great. It's amazing.
Is Charmed.
Is it pretty much the same thing?
It's the exact same thing.
See,
except with men.
Then I'm probably not.
It's grittier.
If I ever get a tattoo, it's gonna be from Supernatural.
I don't know if I'm gonna like it then, because I liked watching the boobs on the girls in Charmed.
Yeah.
It's not. That was pretty much why I watched the show. I mean, they did have a decent storyline, but.
Let's see. Beauty and the Beast canceled. Frequency canceled. Reign canceled. Every other network, The Affair, Showtime.
I'm going to just skim through these. So
American Dad's being renewed.
Good.
Archer's being renewed. Ash vs. Evil Dead's being renewed.
BoJack Horseman.
That's being renewed.
Colony, which I've heard is supposed to be pretty good.
Half of these...
Fear the Walking Dead's being renewed.
Crap.
Fuller House is being renewed.
Woo! Crap.
I like Fuller House.
Grace and Frankie is hilarious.
I've heard about that. My girlfriend's old boss told her to watch that.
It is a funny show.
Orange is the New Black is being renewed.
Major Crimes, The Librarians.
Orange is the New Black is an excellent show. I love it.
Nashville is going to be on CMT for season 6.
Nice.
Van Helsing is a show?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
Yeah.
I don't know. Walking Dead's being renewed.
It's on the Sci-Fi Network. It's probably at least a C movie.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's not. You're not getting much.
Yeah. Oh, Z Nation. Isn't that like a zombie show?
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
And then being canceled.
Bates Motel is ending on season 5. Oh, I love that show.
I'm sorry.
Game of Thrones is coming to an end too. I haven't even started it yet.
Girl Meets World is ending. That's kind of sad.
That's not too sad.
I'm kind of sad.
Because when you try to live up to the expectation that Boy Meets World was. I mean,
and you can't. But it would. I felt like it was enough of a difference.
well, you know what I think the reason is?
What?
Because look what Boy Meets World was on. It was on ABC, wasn't it?
No, it was on Disney Channel.
Was it?
I thought so.
I think the replays were on Disney Channel.
Pretty Little Liars is coming to an end. I don't know if you guys are into that.
I was, and then my girlfriend's like, "Oh, I watched that too. Let's watch it together."
And
guess who never watched it again?
You.
Right.
So now I'm kind of to catch up on Netflix.
Yep.
Yep.
And so now at this point, now that I know it's ending, I'm just gonna wait until it ends and binge.
Right. And then The Strain, which is like a show about vampires or something like that, is being canceled. We got some stuff.
To be announced.
Let's see. Fargo, House of Cards, True Detective, Underground. Better Call Saul is to be announced. I heard that's a really good show. It's like Breaking Bad, except before Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul is one of those ones that I have to start looking, or I need to look into at some point. But at the same time, I have a long list of things that I have to watch.
See, I'm kind of sad because
I have a list of things to watch that is probably as long as this entire list.
I hope you have it written down somewhere.
I have it in a notepad on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, the original Boy Meets World was on ABC.
It was fantastic.
It was, and that's why I think it did so well, is because it was on ABC. That's nasty. But it wasn't. It wasn't on.
Oh my God.
It wasn't on like Disney Channel.
Right.
Like it was meant. It was meant for like. Even though kids started out young in the show,
it was meant for adults.
It was meant for adults / teens.
Right.
It wasn't meant to be an after-school special like this new one was.
Right. No, don't get me wrong.
Oh boy.
You know how I feel about cameos, so the fact that they had some of the original, or actually most of the original cast.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You base unfair judgment off of cameos. You give cameos too much credit, Aaron.
No, I love cameos. You do a good cameo, and I'm like, they had Mr. Feeney.
There's more to
they
a show
had
movie
Eric.
than cameos.
Although, my one complaint is when Eric was on the show, he didn't do the Feeney call.
Yeah, that's kind of like my disappointment in Deadpool not calling.
Yeah,
out
I got it.
He's in.
If you mention that one more, I should start getting a nickel every time you mention that.
You know what they do? Stanley is in Guardians though, or in the Volume 2. He's in there.
He was in the first one.
Yeah, and he's in the new one too.
No, anyway.
Well, he's always in the movie.
So
but he's only doing so many more though too.
But the Girl Meets World, there was like they had the two main characters. They had Corey and Topanga.
No, that freaking cat.
Oh.
Is he back down here?
No,
okay.
But I'm finally getting his presents.
Anyway, so they had the two main characters. They had the buddy Sean that came in for quite a few episodes actually. Then they had Feeney came in. They had Eric who came in for several episodes. Like they brought the mom, the dad, the baby who played the brother.
Yeah.
And then my favorite cameo was the one of, it was when Eric was on, the little boy who he let go to a foster family.
Yeah.
Came back.
Oh.
And it was the same actor.
Oh.
I'm surprised Shameless wasn't on this list for being renewed. I mean, it's already being renewed. It's obvious, as I think they're starting filming this month.
Then it maybe because of the fact that it's already renewed, it was probably on a past list.
Yeah.
What you'll notice is they put out about 2 or 3 of these lists per year.
That's true. It was probably on the last list.
Well, there's like a wave. There'll be a wave. There's like 2 or 3 waves
is it always
shows that are coming to an end.
Is it always on this site or no?
No, I mean there's 2 sites that have this list. But what I'm saying is there's a wave. Several times, like there's one now. There'll be one in a couple months. There'll be another. So it's about every like a third of the year. Right. There'll be a new one when a whole bunch of series are coming to an end. Right. Or they came to an end, and you're trying to figure out if they're going to be renewed. Mm-hmm. That's when you're going to get one of these lists. Is when a bulk of them end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I mean, so shows that aren't ended, they're not going to tell you whether they're going to be renewed yet. They're not. Sometimes they're not sure.
Yeah.
They may wait for the numbers to completely come in for the season finale to see if they're even going to renew it. Which is one thing that I hate, because some shows go literally season to season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave such a big cliffhanger that if they just cancel it, you're like,
why'd you do that?
Why?
Yeah.
Like I think that it should be like mandatory that you give them one last season to unravel everything that they've raveled up.
Maybe not one season. Maybe
half a season.
Yeah, half a season.
Or like a season in a week. Like, there was a show that I used to watch. It was called The Sing Off.
Yeah.
And they did about 2 seasons of it. And then they gave a trial season. And it was literally 1 episode every day for like a month. Or like a week. It was literally just 1 episode every... That's how they pre-filmed it all. But they released 1 episode a day until the finale. Like, nothing was live. It was all pre-recorded. They did this months in advance. Everybody was sworn to secrecy.
Oh, wow.
Because there was someone from MSU. There was a group from MSU that participated in it that year.
Uh-huh.
And a friend of mine who went, it was actually my best friend. He went, and he was buddies with them.
Yeah.
And they weren't to say anything.
Oh my.
They're like, I can't tell you, but, you'll like whoever won.
Right. Yeah. So, okay.
But...
Yeah.
So I think they should at least do something like that to unravel everything that they've raveled up. Because like Kyle XY was a show that I watched for a while on ABC Family. And literally they're like, well, we're going to cancel it. And so they did that in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had like 3 episodes to unravel everything. And I was still confused by the end. I'm like, well, what about this and this and this? And I'm like, that wasn't... 3 episodes is not enough to unravel everything. That's why I said a season. Whether it be a season released, all
at once or
kind of a lot faster rather than like once a week.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like
multiple
maybe
shows a week.
One a
like
day.
That. Yeah.
Or multiple shows a week, like a Monday and a Friday. However you want to do it.
Something to get it over quicker. Yeah.
Right.
I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm. So I got one more question for you guys.
Okay. I don't have an answer.
Okay, well, out of all the shows you could think of and anything that was not mentioned on this list, what is one show that you would like to be renewed?
One show that would like to be renewed?
Yes.
Rosewood.
Well, that was
on the
list to be canceled, though.
He said that wasn't on this
Something
list.
that was not on this list.
That wasn't on this list.
So something that you might not be entirely sure if it's coming back, but it could, but you want it to.
I don't really... Honestly, I don't watch
enough. I can't think of one.
I don't watch enough stuff that's not like Netflix or online.
Because I think there's one that I've been looking for, but I'm pretty sure it's already canceled.
What show?
It was what was the name of it? It was the one about a pathologist that's been living forever.
Oh, that's kind of an interesting concept. Was a pathologist?
Someone who studies germs and viruses.
No.
Yeah?
Sorry. A forensic pathologist that... There's a difference.
Yes, there is, but you didn't say that.
My bad. A forensic pathologist. The difference is what he said is technically correct. A pathologist is somebody who studies, like they'll take, if they remove something from someone, I've actually been to that lab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They literally have these machines that they turn, like they've got a handle that they crank, and it takes a blade and cuts it microscopically. Like they'll dip this thing in wax and then put it in, and make it like a cube.
Yeah.
And then it'll put it in this cutter, and it will cut like micro sections of it. And then they literally take the microsection, lay it in water to get the I'm trying to think of what it's called. Get the crap off of it, and then they scoop it up with a slide. And then they send it through this machine that puts a cap on the slide so that it won't fall off and puts a label on it.
Okay.
But the pathologist looks at that through a microscope and figures out whether it's cancerous or not cancerous, or that's how they find out if,
They study, again, pathology, they study pathogens.
Yeah,
which are diseases, basically.
Right. So, like when someone says, "Hey, you have cancer," well, there's somebody that was looking at that mass that they removed through a microscope.
That's a little bit different because you have actual cancer doctors.
Well, right, but there's pathologists too. A lot of pathologists will sit there and look and say, "Okay, well, here's a mass that was removed. Is it cancerous or not?"
Yeah.
And they will say, "Okay." They'll have everybody else cut the slides and all that. It'll get sent to the pathology office. And he literally sits there and puts the slides under the microscope, looks at them, writes notes about them, and puts them away. A forensic pathologist is the one who works in a morgue and is elected to pretty much do autopsies on people who are killed, murderers, and things like that.
Ah, I see.
But I'm trying to find this. It was Forever? I think Forever was the name of the show.
I think I might have heard of it. I don't know. You guys already know if there's one show that I could have renewed, it would be Young Justice, which I actually looked into it. And I guess apparently on April 25th, 2017, Warner Bros. Announced that Season 3 will be titled Young Justice Outsiders, with the series debuting in a new DC-branded digital service coming in 2018.
Nice.
So, I'm happy.
Yeah?
I think a little bit too happy sometimes.
It's a good show. I like it.
If I could... Which one I would bring back? I would bring back. Crap, what's in it? I would bring back. Gravity Falls.
It wasn't bring back. It was what
Well,
would you have
if I could
renewed?
renew it, it's been capped for like a year.
Gravity Falls. I know. I've heard of it. I know which one it is.
Yeah, Forever
I know
was
it's a cartoon.
canceled. Forever ended in 2015. It was only on for a year.
My brother's really into Steven Universe. I know that's a little
That's a
different.
good show. But Howard, it's honestly not that much different. The creators actually went to the same institute. So
I was more into
Steven
Adventure Time.
Universe. Well, Steven Universe, Adventure Time, and Gravity Falls, all three creators of those shows went to the California Institute of Arts.
Right.
So,
Really?
and Rebecca Sugar, who was the creator of Steven Universe, was a storyboard and story creator for Adventure Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They all probably have parts in all of them.
Oh, they do. For sure. Well, they're friends, so.
Yeah.
Forever was a 200-year-old man who works in New York City morgue trying to find the key to unlock the curse of his immortality. So pretty much he was shot with an ancient gun like 200 years ago, and he fell into the water.
Yeah.
And was pretty much thought he died.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't.
And then he popped up in the middle of the ocean, right by in New York City, off the same bridge.
Nice.
In modern
time. And so the same time.
Ah.
It literally was 20 minutes later he pops up out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so he moved to a different continent, so the people who were looking for him couldn't find him. And that was his entire life. Like he studied to be a doctor, he studied to be this and that. So for 200 years he's been moving and changing IDs and things like that when people would find out.
Yeah.
And then the show takes place now, and he's the medical examiner in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a son, and his son's older, so it's one of those weird things where his son's old,
but his son's old.
Yeah, he looks exactly the same, but he's 200 years old.
Yeah.
And his son is not 70 and looks old. And he had a wife who died or who went missing, and so it flashes back to parts of his life that he remembers.
God, can you imagine being immortal like that?
I would not want that.
Well, I was watching. There was a very good episode of Doctor Who. Okay, so little short story. I went back and I started watching the Peter Capaldi Doctor Who, and I have gained a little bit more respect for his character, especially the newer episodes that are coming out.
He's the newest one, right? The
Right.
12th or whatever?
Yeah, the one that I didn't like. Because the sonic sunglasses were only a thing for 4 episodes, and then he gained a new sonic screwdriver that looks sweet.
Okay.
But the newer episodes that I'm watching now, it's going to be Peter Capaldi's last run, but there was one. Where was I going with this? Oh, there was one about a girl who ended up becoming immortal. He made her immortal, and it kind of gave a good perspective on it. It was this little girl, and she was killed, and he used this microchip from a futuristic guy that was trying to attack them. And he gave her 2. He put one. He pretty much laid it on her chest, and it sucked in and made her immortal. And she has a second one, so that somebody else can live with her for the rest of eternity, and not die.
Right.
But so she's lived over 3,000 years, and she still has a second one. She hasn't given it to anybody, but she's forgetting who she was.
Oh.
Because her brain.
Well, I suppose after that much.
Well, it's because the human brain is only so big,
and
can only remember so many things. So after 3,000 years worth of memories, some of the old ones just kind of get dumped out. It's kind of like your.
It's like making move on a memory stick.
It's like your DVR.
Yeah, it's like making room on a memory stick.
I was gonna say your DVR, because your DVR
same concept.
It automatically deletes stuff that's old that you've never watched.
Fair enough.
Or the oldest stuff gets deleted. So when you've got, when you're making new memories, some of the old ones kind of fade off. But what she did is she created all these journals. So he popped in 2,000 years or 3,000 years later, and he keeps popping in her time stream. Or popping in, yeah, and she's got journals, and sometimes she won't remember who she was. She doesn't remember who she was when this first happened. When she first became immortal.
Right.
But it's written in a diary. She started writing diaries, so she's got all these diaries of her entire lifetime.
I would probably have to keep some kind of diary if I was going to be an immortal person. or some kind of memory storage or something.
But it gained it gave me a new perspective on it because I'm like, yeah, it'd be sweet to live forever. And then the more shows that I watched about it, like forever, it was one of those things. It was a curse. It was a curse to him. He literally has lived for 200 years, and all the people that he's loved have passed away. All of his friends are gone. His family's gone. His son's gonna die off one day. Everybody around you is just dying. And then
rough.
Well, and then you've got Doctor Who added the element of, if you keep living, at some point you're going to forget your previous life, or who you used to be, unless you document it somehow.
Right. It's like I don't have much of an idea of who I was when I was 10. Or I don't remember much of it.
Right. Well, could you imagine if you lived for 200 years, you probably wouldn't remember any of this.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that it made me gain perspective on, I don't want to live forever.
I'd still do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I would. You could find new joy.
I wouldn't do it.
I would.
I feel like it's a curse. Lucas, what do you think?
By all means, give me your immortality.
About immortality?
Yeah,
Yes.
if you could be immortal, eternal youth, the whole shebang. You are the way you are forever.
Oh, crap, the way I am now?
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, I mean, like you can
can still shape yourself.
You can lose weight and gain weight or whatever you want to do.
I don't, honestly. There's such a toss-up because you have the feeling of living past every single person that you ever known and loved dies.
Yeah.
And then, but you also...
That's what got me.
I can do anything I want because I'm not going to die.
But then you've also got the fact where you're running for your entire life.
That's fine. You just keep leaving yourself in your own will.
You could just be like Iron Man and be like, hey guys, you know what? I'm immortal. Suck it.
Yeah. just keep, every time you move or something, like fake your death and say, oh yeah, so-and-so gets this and he lives in this country.
Right.
And hopefully the bank has no idea what you look like, and so you can go in and get your money, just grab it, put it in another account. And,
I feel like
but you'd also have to come up with fake IDs.
True, but I mean, if illegal immigrants can do that, I'm pretty sure
right.
I can figure it out. But,
no, but I mean, just the fact that everybody that I'd love or ever would meet or ever would love would just be dying.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that would probably be the hardest part of it for me, but I'd still do it.
Because what would make it easier?
I mean, here's the thing. There's a good chance that most of the people that you love and care about now are already going to die in your lifetime. You're already going to have to go through the pain of losing them.
You're making this very bleak, Mark.
You might as well just...
No, but you're going to have to do that several times. I mean, say the girl that you're dating right now.
I look at it this way. Even though they will pass away, it means you get to love again. You're not necessarily stuck.
It's like...
I only love this one. It's like, well, my life is immortal, so I can...
Imagine it like a dog. I mean, you love
Are you going to go to the movie A Dog's Purpose now?
You love your dog. You consider him a family member. But he's only going to live somewhere between 10 and 20 years.
Right.
And then you're probably going to get another dog.
Right.
It's the same concept with your friends and family. They'll die.
Very big difference.
They'll die, but you get to make new relationships.
A dog.
You get to make you get to move on. You get to keep living.
These are people.
It's called moving. It's called living your life.
I'm going to tell your girl. Is your girlfriend listening? Because she's probably going to slap you.
She's probably going to listen in some point.
I just absolutely love my girlfriend.
You can argue me all you want.
But I cannot wait till she dies,
No, it's nothing like that.
Shout out to Mark's girlfriend. You need to slap him the next time you see him for saying that you can die.
I absolutely love all my friends and family. If it came down to it, I would take a bullet for each and every one of them. But if I had the opportunity to live forever and be eternal youth, immortality, all that stuff, I'm not going to pass that up.
I wouldn't do it.
I would. I would do it. I would learn to cope.
I don't know. I honestly,
because there's a good chance that most of my family's going to die in my lifetime anyways, and I'm going to manage to get through it.
But I mean, like, you could never be famous.
That's okay.
I mean, it depends on how you play your card. You could be the famous immortal man. I mean, look at Tony Stark.
Yeah, but then you're going to get people poking and prodding you with needles and knives.
Right. Like, why are you immortal?
I would just be like, I live here.
I guess it depends on how you
But I mean, like, okay, so say I want to go into radio. If I want to become, famous even just around here.
Yeah.
If I do that,
will last you all of about 5 years after you quit. So
you can just switch your market every 10, 20 years, just shift your market to the other side of the United States. Be like, live in Michigan, and then move to California, and then go to Georgia, and then
You're talking about moving to the other side of the world. That's what you're gonna have to do.
Learn Chinese and get on the radio.
Hey, if you have immortality, why not learn all the languages?
True.
Why not learn all
You'd
the
certainly
skills?
be the smartest man in the world.
Learn how to fix a car. Learn how to fix a person. Learn how to talk to that guy and that guy too.
Anyway, so I'm gonna throw this question out to everybody else. If you could become immortal, would you do it? Or would you? Why? Why would you do it, or why would you not do it?
Eternal youth is included in this equation.
You don't just keep getting uglier as you get older, so you're good.
Eventually, you're just a dusty old sack.
So if you could live forever in either the state you are in now or the state you have previously been in. So say this happened to you a long time ago.
Yeah.
Whatever point in your life that you want to be in, you are in that point forever. You can be that age, you can be that person, and you are that forever.
Okay. But answer that. Would you do it or not? You can hit us up on our Topic Talks Facebook page. We also have we don't have a Twitter. I have a Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. You probably hit these poor saps up on their Facebooks too.
I am a poor sap.
It'll give them something to do in their spare time. And give them one more follower that they didn't have.
See.
Which would be one follower.
Thanks.
Anyway, we're also on Spreaker.com.
Thanks for that.
That's where we broadcast through. So if you want to go there and give us a like as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. So, would you become immortal or would you want to die? Is pretty much the question, and why. I think that's pretty much it. That wraps up the show. Any last thoughts, guys?
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah, do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
Not the way I do them.
Okay, from everybody here at Topic Talks, I'm Aaron Klingsmith.
I'm Lucas Sanders.
And I'm Mark Wilson.
Signing off.